This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Tuesday, February 18, 2025. 41% of Jamaicans believe Mark Golding has been doing an average job as opposition leader, and Golding struggles to win over female voters. Political science professor urges the PNP to present clear policies and plans for Jamaica's development ahead of the next general election. In regional news, Cayman's former Chief Justice appointed to the Privy Council. In international news, the U.S. and Russia are holding talks about the war in Ukraine. In sports, Mount Pleasant thrashed Humble Line in the Rare Nephew Jamaica Premier League on Monday. And in business, Meta plans to build a 50,000-kilometer subsea cable across the world. The details after the break.
Yo, my boss.
Yo,
my general.
Yeah.
Yo, my king.
Yeah.
The new BK Mega Stacker. Come for run everything. Choose your style. Double, triple, or quad stack. Juicy grilled beef. Plus crispy bacon. Some starkerific sauce. And layers of melted cheese. So if you think you can angle it, stackify yourself today. Order the BK Mega Stacker and have it your way. The new BK Mega Stacker. Built for satisfaction. Limited time. Only at Burger King.
Catch the first news of the day, a comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details.
The Nationwide Blue Dot Polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
A plurality of Jamaicans, 41%, believe Mark Golding has been doing an average job as opposition leader over the last 4 years. That's according to the latest Nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools. But despite high levels of ambivalence about the job Golding has been doing, he can take comfort in the fact that the number of Jamaicans who believe he's doing a poor job has declined significantly from the high of 51% recorded in 2022. George Davis has more in this report.
Since April 2024, the job of opposition leader comes with a cushy salary of more than $25 million per year. Mark Golding takes every cent of that salary. But when the Blue Dot pollsters asked 1,500 registered voters to rate Golding's performance at his day job, they were largely ambivalent. 41% said he was doing an average job. 36% say he was doing a poor job, while 23% rated the opposition leader's performance as good. Golding has been able to bring his job approval out of the mud of 2022 and 2023, when a high of 51% of voters said he was doing a poor job. But those voters are not ready to go with Golding. At best, his job approval has been stagnant since February last year, when 42% of voters gave him that rating. It remained at 42% in September 2024. Most troubling for the opposition leader is the fact that the pollsters found a decline in the number of respondents who say he's doing a good job. That good rating has fallen 6 percentage points from the high of 29% recorded in September last year. The pollsters say that dip may suggest Golding is having trouble maintaining positive momentum with the electorate. Golding's difficulty in escaping the average job approval rating may be firmly rooted in the fact that nearly 50% of unaffiliated voters gave him an average rating. That suggests a high level of ambivalence. 38% of unaffiliated voters gave him a poor job approval rating, suggesting high skepticism, while 14% of the unaffiliated voters believe he has done a good job. Interestingly, 30% of PNP supporters also believe Golding has been just average at his job, 8% say he has been poor, and 62% of comrades say he has been doing a good job. Unsurprisingly, the Labourites were less kind. 53% of JLP supporters say Mark Golding has been doing a poor job, 41% say he's been average, and 6% gave him a good rating. The PNP say it's time to go with Golding. They say time come. But the data suggests voters want more from drinking the orange Kool-Aid. The nationwide Blue Dot polls were conducted between January 21 and February 1. It has a margin of error of plus or minus 2.5%. George Davis for Nationwide News.
The nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
Meanwhile, Mark Golding continues to face an uphill climb in winning over female voters. 41% of them rate his job performance as average. 20% say it has been good, but 39% of women say Golding has been poor as opposition leader. That 39% is 7 percentage points higher than the 32% of men who also say Golding has been doing a poor job. 41% of men say Golding has been average at his job, while 27% say he's doing a good job. That good rating from men is 7 percentage points higher than women were prepared to give. When it comes to age, older voters appeared more likely to view Golding's performance favorably. In fact, the strongest support for the job he's been doing over the last 4 years was among voters in the age group 55 to 64 years, where 34% say he's doing a good job. That's followed by voters over 65 years old, where 33% also say Golding has done a good job. Young voters have significant levels of ambivalence about Golding's job performance. 50% of voters in the 18 to 24 age group say Golding has been average at his job. 31% of this cohort say the opposition leader has been poor at his job, while 18% say he's been doing a good job.
The nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
Associate Professor of Political Science and Policy Studies at Elon University, Dr. Damien Blake, says the opposition PNP needs to present clear plans for Jamaica's development if it intends to win the next general election. His comment is in response to the latest nationwide Blue Dot poll powered by Total Tools, which shows the electorate sharply divided on whether the Andrew Holness-led JLP deserves a third term. Dr. Blake says the PNP should capitalize on the political uncertainty by clearly articulating its vision for the country.
The general narrative, the slogan, time coming, is very catchy, but in many ways I think it's empty, right? And they need to show in a robust way how they are going to change the lives of the average Jamaican. I think that they should at least start to show the makings of their plans and the ways in which they would address these issues. But if the PNP don't act now and start to flesh out how they plan to address these things and what they're bringing to the electorate, I think that they may shoot themselves in the leg and snatch defeat from the jaws of what seems to be a potential close election here. They really should get out there and start to flesh things out.
The nationwide Blue Dot poll found that 50.1% believe the government should be re-elected, while 49.9% disagrees, essentially a dead heat of 50-50. Pollsters interpret the results as a sign of a fluid political landscape, with both the JLP and PNP having an opportunity to sway undecided voters. Dr. Blake notes that the Holness administration still has significant work to do in convincing the electorate that it deserves another term in office.
It's always challenging for incumbent parties to win elections, right? And more so for a three-peak or a third term. And it's also very difficult for the electorate as well to go back to the same party 3 times, right? There's a natural kind of lethargy with the party, impatience. And so I think that is being reflected in the numbers there. It suggests to me that the governing party has some work to do to get the, unaffiliated independent voters into the fold. But elections are funny things, right? I wouldn't say that that time has run out. I think there's time for the governing party to tighten its screws and to go out and to make some more inroads into the unaffiliated, because that number at this point in time, 8 months before the elections, that number is too high for comfort, I would say.
Dr. Damien Blake, Associate Professor of Political Science and Policy Studies at Elon University. He was speaking during Nationwide at 5 on Monday. The nationwide Blue Dot poll was conducted among 1,500 Jamaicans between January 21 and February 1. It has a margin of error of plus or minus 2.5%. The country's point-to-point inflation rate fell slightly at the end of January. That's according to the latest information from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin. Statin says the point-to-point inflation rate for the month was 4.7%. This is down from the 5% recorded the month before. Statin says the rate was influenced mainly by changes in the division food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels, and restaurants and accommodation services. The rate remains in line with the Bank of Jamaica's mandated rate of 4 to 6%. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the government's handling of debt is superior to that of the previous PNP administration. The Prime Minister was reacting to the estimates of expenditure for the financial year 2025-2026 tabled in Parliament last week. In a post to his social media pages, the Prime Minister says the government is spending significantly less of taxpayers' money on debt interest than the PNP did during its time in government.
In the current budget, we had $317.3 billion of debt principal. We used $66 billion of our own resources towards paying down the debt, and we refinanced the rest. In the new budget, only $162.7 billion of principal becomes due, or 48.7% less than the current budget. As a result, interest payment for the upcoming fiscal year is $4.8 billion less, or 2.6% less. Under the last budget in the PNP, the portion of your taxes that went to paying interest on the debt was 33.6%.
The government is planning to spend approximately $1.3 trillion for the upcoming 2025-2026 fiscal year. This figure is nearly $100 billion less than the initial estimates of the expenditure tabled for the current financial year. Additionally, it's almost $126 billion less than the third supplementary estimates tabled last month. The Prime Minister, in championing the upcoming budget, credits the fiscal discipline applied by his administration for its ability to fund local development in the year ahead.
In our upcoming budget, the portion of your tax that will go to paying interest is down to 18.7%. We have cut it almost in half. Paying down the debt in a disciplined, orderly way creates more space for sustainable spending on the things that improve your quality of life, like another 100 new buses. When you are responsible and disciplined in doing the right thing, you will confound the naysayers. We are spending more on the people's needs. without taking more from the people's pocket, while at the same time reducing the national debt. This is a good thing. Jamaica must never go back to the days of supporting reckless politicians who spend without regard just to get political power.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Losses at the state-owned Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC continue to climb, with the projections putting it on track to nearly triple in the upcoming fiscal year. That's according to the public body's estimates of expenditures and revenues for the 2025-2026 tabled in the House of Representatives last Thursday. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, has long been a drain on the public purse, plagued with issues such as declining ridership, fuel theft, and an aging fleet. The upcoming financial year for the state-run bus company seems bleak. The company is projecting operational losses of nearly $7 billion. That's an increase of almost 300% over the approximately $1.8 billion in losses recorded in the current fiscal year. This is also after the nearly $11 billion in government subvention to the JUTC is taken into consideration. Total operating expenses for the bus company for 2025-2026 are anticipated to increase to just over $15 billion. That's $4 billion more than the $11 billion recorded in 2024-2025. That's a 36% increase in the JUTC's operating costs. It's also clear the bus company's revenues are not keeping up. The JUTC is projecting to gross $1.6 billion in income in 2025-2026. This is a 20% improvement on the $1.3 billion the company plans to take in for the current fiscal year. Staffing costs represent the JUTC's largest expense. It's projected to jump to just over $6 billion in 2025-2026, up by nearly $2 billion when compared to the current fiscal year. The JUTC's second largest expense is bus maintenance, and the government is planning to spend nearly $3 billion on upkeep of the JUTC fleet. Additionally, it's projecting to spend $2.3 billion on fuels and lubricants. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Apply to work in the next general election. Visit your EOJ constituency office or apply online at ecj.com.jm. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica, committed to free and fair elections.
Fall in love with a new Mazda. From now until March 31, drive away an elegant CX-60, a majestic CX-90, or a nimble CX-5 and get a 2-year service package, 1 year free insurance, free license and registration, plus free window tinting. Conditions apply. Give in to temptation. Visit Executive Motors today. Mazda. Love at first drive.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, experience is key. That's how Cayman's former Chief Justice, Sir Anthony Smellie, has reacted to his appointment to the Judicial Committee of the UK-based Privy Council. Smellie told the Cayman Compass that his decades of experience could help inform the Privy Council's decisions. He says it's a wonderful opportunity, and he hopes his participation in their deliberations will be meaningful. Smellie's elevation to the Privy Council was announced last week. He retired as Chief Justice in the Cayman Islands in 2022 after almost 25 years on the job. He had, however, continued to sit as a Court of Appeal judge in Cayman and Bermuda. Smellie will commute from Cayman, where he continues to live, to London to sit on cases. He says the role of the Privy Council was important because appellate courts strive for consensus, which was likely to encourage confidence in its judgments. International, the U.S. and Russia are holding talks in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday about the war in Ukraine. It's the first in-person meeting since Moscow's full-scale invasion 3 years ago. Neither Ukraine nor Europe is invited. The U.S. says today's talks are a first step to see if Russia is serious about ending the war. Russia, meanwhile, says it hopes to normalize relations with America. The Kremlin says Vladimir Putin is prepared to speak to Volodymyr Zelensky if necessary. Zelensky has repeatedly said he won't recognize a peace deal negotiated without Ukraine. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
If them a hide and a bribe, you know we not sleep. Extortion them want, you know that not keep. Fight against corruption, turn up the heat. Load up the kickback and fraud when you see. Anti-corruption, join in the fight. Let's come together and make this right. When you see wrong, you feel open your mouth. Now there's a new avenue for speak out. We need a reduction. Make we fight against corruption.
The Integrity Commission is working towards Jamaica where there's integrity, accountability, and transparency in public service, where acts of corruption by persons in public office will be investigated and dealt with transparency and accountability. Stand with us in the fight against corruption. Call the Integrity Commission Anti-Corruption Hotline 876-926-0001.
Make we fight against corruption.
Time now for your morning sports. Mount Pleasant Academy have restored their 7-point lead in the Red Nephew Jamaica Premier League following a 5-0 thrashing of Humber Lion at the Montego Bay Sports Complex on Monday. Daniel Green bagged a hat-trick for the St. Anne-based team who also got goals from Alex Marshall and Joel Howell. Mount Pleasant are now on 58 points, 7 ahead of Arnott Gardens on 51. Montego Bay United remain third on 48 points thanks to a 3-1 win over Tivoli Gardens in the day's other game. Captain Owain Gordon, Jordan Brito, and Jordan Fletcher were on target for Montego Bay, while Nicalia Fuller scored Tivoli's consolation. Coach of Jamaica's senior reggae girls, Hubert Busby, says he'll be evaluating closely the talent in the Jamaica Women's Premier League. The league kicks off with 5 matches on March 1.
I think in terms of monitoring the players coming through, absolutely. I think that's where the players locally will get a chance to show their wares for sure. And so we look forward to see how those players progress within that league. I think the second part to that is challenges will maintain to the clubs in terms of how they continue to support those players within the league. So it's great to see that the financial support has come in and sort of a rebranding of sorts, which is great to see. Really looking forward to see how things go. But again, everything has to come in alignment.
Hubert Busby. With 5 days to go before the Gibson McCook Relays, Chairman of the Entries and Registrations Committee, Ryan Peralto Jr., is promising the usual excitement on and off the track. The annual Relay Carnival will feature 31 relay events, 15 of which are championship races at the National Stadium.
You can expect an event that's going to be fast-paced. We always, of course, as you know, and this is patterned off of the way that the pen relays are run, we always run a tight ship in terms of timing. And there's quite a bit of excitement. We found that there are a pretty high number of entries for every one of the high school relays. And we also had quite a bit of entries for the 60 meters. So it's going to be an exciting evening.
Peralta says Jamaica's senior athletes will be using the meet to qualify for the World Indoor Championships in Nanjing, China.
This year, of course, we have Indoor World Championships coming up. And so with that, athletes are wanting to get in some times that will help them qualify for that event. So that's part of it. And then, of course, the kids, the high schoolers, they are preparing, sharpening up for champs.
That's Ryan Peralta Jr. Finally, in your morning sports, Fervent Distant Classic Meet director Dwayne Johnson says meets of that kind give middle and long-distance athletes an opportunity to shine away from the spotlight of the sprint events. St. Jago High's Ryan Achua was one of the standouts at the third staging of the event at the Jamaica College Ashheim Stadium. Achua, who is from Kenya, clocked an impressive 15 minutes 45.07 seconds to win the Boys Open 5,000 meters. Among the girls, Camperdown High's Guyanese-born Jennifer Bias broke the meet record in the Girls Open 3,000 meters, stopping the clock at 11 minutes 22.66 seconds. Kaya Anderson of the Queen's School won the Class 2 800 meters in a personal best of 2 minutes 27.20 seconds. Johnson says these performances highlight that Jamaica's track and field is not just about the sprints.
They get all the attention majority of the time, you know. Even officiating those events, those are the events that we try and get everything perfect for. So having meets like this will allow these athletes to, you know, coming out of their shell and getting attention separate from everything else. Man, you know, everything is geared towards them. So it will help their development and get them motivated to push harder.
He says the meet has grown marginally despite being affected by the hosting of meets on the day.
We need to grow a little bit more. And the challenge this year, though, a lot of the Western and Central schools will have stayed away from it because Western Champs is actually in the middle of their championship now, and then Central Champs starts on Monday. So you find a lot of those schools who are normally dominant in these events aren't here this year, but the numbers actually grew about 10% this year. So we are hoping that in years to come we continue to grow.
Dwayne Johnson wrapping up your morning sports.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In business this morning, the BBC is reporting that Meta has announced plans to build a 50,000-kilometer subsea cable across the world. The tech giant said Project Waterworth, connecting the US, India, South Africa, Brazil, and other regions, will be the world's longest underwater cable project when completed. Meta, which owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, has sought to extend its presence in technology beyond social media, including in artificial intelligence AI and the infrastructure that supports it. It said its new cable project would provide industry-leading connectivity to 5 major continents and help support its AI projects. Meta said in a blog post that this project will enable greater economic cooperation, facilitate digital inclusion, and open opportunities for technological development in these regions. According to the firm, the cable would be the longest to date that uses a 24 fiber pair system, giving it a higher capacity. Subsea cables have become increasingly important as they provide the means to power a variety of digital services and transfer data worldwide at speed. One regularly cited statistic suggests more than 95% of the world's internet traffic is transferred through undersea cables. Argentine President Javier Milei is facing impeachment calls and legal action accusing him of fraud over his promotion of cryptocurrency on social media. According to BBC reports, Milei posted on X, formerly Twitter, about the Dollar Libra coin on Friday, which he said would help fund small businesses and startups. He shared a link to buy it, causing its price to shoot up. But within a few hours, he deleted his post and the cryptocurrency nosedived in value, losing investors most of their money. Some opposition members of Congress say they plan to start proceedings to impeach him. Meanwhile, lawyers filed complaints of fraud in Argentina's criminal court on Sunday. Some people online have accused Milei of what is known as a rug pull, where promoters of cryptocurrency draw in buyers only to stop trading activity and make off with the money raised from sales. They pointed out that the link used to buy the coins referenced a phrase the president uses in his speeches. But Argentina's presidential office said on Saturday that the decision to remove the post was to avoid speculation following public reaction to the launch of the cryptocurrency. Finally, now in foreign exchange trading, the Jamaican dollar has lost 24 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $158.44 against the benchmark US dollar. The Jamaican dollar has lost 10 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $111.96 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican has gained $1.51 and will open trading today, selling for an average $198.81 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:31.
Horton's RX, the caring pharmacy, the Yes We Can pharmacy, the Yes It's in stock pharmacy, the house call delivery pharmacy, the RX Pack mobile app pharmacy, the RX Plus digital wallet pharmacy, the 20% reward pharmacy, the easy to remember number pharmacy, 876 RX0 RXRX, the easy access 24/7 pharmacy, Horton's RX, the convenient pharmacy, hashtag wellness, hashtag simply delivered.
Why eat other snacks when sunshine is the best for you? Nature's best buns are crunchy. The flavor that sings to you, salted banana and plantain. Taste the freshness, naturally sweet. The flavor that sings to you.
Ayo, nature's best bunch.
You don't know. Bounce a little sugar no pan. We not sleep with trouble no man. Oh, said I had a close one yesterday. Jah put an angel over me. Be strong. Hold up for meditation. One day things must get better. Don't you go down. Keep your head above the water. Stay. One day things must get better. Be be strong. And I say, well, I for meditation. One day things must get better. Don't you go down, keep your head above the water, child. One day things must get better. The rich is wise in his own conceit, but the fool with overstanding searcheth him out. Poor man mourn the rich, riches increase. I said, be not grieved, riches are not forever. Every night the oppressor choose none of his ways. Be not wise in thine own eyes, only Jah you must praise. Strive not with a man without a cause. If he have done you no harm, let bygone be bygone. Said I had a close one yesterday. Jah put an angel over me. Be strong. And I say, well, I for meditation. One day things must get better. Don't you go down, keep your head above that water. One day things must get better. Be strong. And I say, well, I for meditation. One day things must get better. Don't you go down, keep your head above the water. Say, one day things must get. It's 9 to 5 is a joke compared to the pressure. The minister said the economy is getting better, misleading the people. The mass still suffer. Oh, Jah, scarce benefits.
So, Diana. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Tuesday, February 18, 2025. This is Nationwide This Morning, and my name is George.
And I'm Tana. Okay, clearly, what is going on? I'm Tana. Santana Thomas.
What kind of something this though? I mean, you know, I'm Tana.
Good morning. Good morning. So all our listeners, happy to have you this morning. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, February 18, 2025. Yeah, and this is Nationwide This Morning.
Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, indeed.
So, on my mind this morning, George, is a report card. Yeah, it's a report card. I normally venture back to the throne speech of the previous year to assess all of the plans that were announced by the Governor General, and then to check whether or not the government has indeed actioned all of these plans normally announced by the Governor General. In last year's throne speech, 27 plans were announced. There were 27 items in the throne speech for 2024-2025. Fiscal year hasn't ended yet, but those were the plans announced for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. 27 of them. And in my what's on my mind this morning, I'll use the time to go through the list and tell our listeners whether or not the government has actioned any of these 27 items. So at number 1, they committed to increasing the rollout of service excellence programs across ministries, agencies, and departments. Done. In the Ministry of Finance in June last year, they launched their new program to improve service delivery. And in the Ministry of Education as well, in October last year, they launched its customer service branch with 6 customer service reps and a monitoring officer. So for number 1, they said committed to increasing the rollout, and they have been doing that. So I put that under the list of items done. And number 2, we have National Identification and Registration Authority, NERA, to be operationalized and to start enrollment and the issuing of the first batch of ID cards. What do you think of that one? Done indeed. So NERA was operationalized in November 2024, NERA Act regulations gazetted. And of course, the board chairman, Bishop Conrad Pitkin, who has been on Nationwide this morning having conversations about the NIDS cards, and the first batch of 300 NIDS cards are being distributed. What they're left to tell us now is about enrollment for all other Jamaicans, which is to come. So we need some updates on that. At number 3, further strengthening of financial sector regulations and key legislation. Under that was the Customs Act. Done. It was piloted by Dr. Nigel Clark, the then finance minister, and passed in the House in May 2024. There's also the Income Tax Relief, Large-Scale Projects and Pioneer Industries Act. A provision under that law, of course, is the fiscal incentives to large-scale investors. And you'll recall the conversations we had, George, with the Finance Minister, Favour Williams, earlier this year, where she said legislative adjustments are nearing completion. So I'd put that in progress. At number 4 now, you have the new entry to Portmore from Mandela via Municipal Boulevard. The update we got on that was that the investment appraisal is underway. So I put that as in progress. At number 5, the widening of Sandy Gully. An update on that as well was that the investment appraisal is underway. And the Prime Minister did indicate in Parliament that the National Works Agency has been tasked to come up with a comprehensive plan for that. So in progress. At number 6, upgrade of Arthur Wint Drive, Tom Redcombe Drive and Camp Road. That has been pushed back to the new financial year, 2025-26. So I'd say that's outstanding. At number 7, 21 water supply upgrading and expansion projects were planned at $2.5 billion. Our year in review that we had with the Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, he told us that $7 billion was spent in 2024 on projects benefiting 100,000 Jamaicans. So done. Rio Cobra Treatment Plant project will commence in 2024-2025 under a public-private partnership at $77 million US. Ground was indeed broken in March 2024 for that, so done. Because it did say will commence. It never said we're going to start and end, so done. At number 9, break ground for the Westmoreland Divisional Headquarters. That ground was broken for that. The Westmoreland Divisional HQ for the police. Yeah, for the police, yes. So ground was broken in March last year, so done. St. Catherine Divisional HQ, similarly, ground was supposed to be broken for that. That did not happen, but that one is in progress as well because the contract for that one was signed in July 2024. At number 11, protected areas policy to be finalized. That is in progress. The consultation document or green paper was tabled and they indeed started consultation on that one. At number 12, revised health-related laws. Under that was the Tobacco Control Bill. That is indeed in progress and before the Joint Select Committee. At number 13, redevelop Prairie Bathing and Fishing Beach. That is indeed outstanding. That has not been done. And neither has the redevelopment of Pagy in St. Mary. That has not been done either. So both of those are outstanding. At number 15, laws to be amended re-agriculture. Under that was replacing the Plant Quarantine Act with the Plant Health Act 2024. The last update we got on that in November was that it had gone to Cabinet and to be tabled before the new financial year. So that's in progress. At number 16, amendments to the Predial Larceny Act, amendments to be made this year. So I'd say that's outstanding. At number 17, renewable energy generation. They're looking to have 168 megawatts more to come on stream. Last update on that was about November 2024, that a tender was to be launched in March this year. So that's in progress. At number 18, Public Passenger Stakeholder Committee to begin addressing the transportation of students, rural student transportation system to be introduced. Of course, we have been seeing some new routes by the JUTC in St. Thomas and Clarendon, but I'd hope for the minister to better articulate on this one and to tell us what has the committee been saying. But we have seen some progress there. At number 19, the Petroleum Downstream Activities Bill. I don't know if anybody remembers hearing about that, but that was one of the items on the list as well. That is outstanding. The last update we have on that is that it's back on the 2025-26 agenda because in this year's throne speech it was also announced. And then at number 20, amendments to Civil Aviation Act, outstanding again and back on the 2025-26 agenda. Similarly announced again by Costa Stedman Fuller, who was deputizing for the Governor General. The mediation bill outstanding to back on the 2025-26 agenda. At number 22, amendments to make Jamaica a republic. Most of Jamaicans who are listening know that this one is in progress and before the Joint Select Committee. Sexual Harassment Tribunal that was set to be operationalized, that has been done in June 2024. A gender-based violence shelter was set to be constructed. Construction is indeed underway, and the Gender Minister Olivia Grange says that is slated to be completed before the end of the financial year. Amendments to the Jamaica Heritage Trust Act. There's no evidence to suggest that this one, any progress has been made on it. I looked high and low, but I stand to be corrected, so I added that one as outstanding. Now at number 26, penultimate matter, new fire station at Ulster Spring in Trelawney. Definitely outstanding. There have been numerous reports of, people clearing land and construction was set to get underway. Then boom, you heard reports that all you're seeing on the land now is bush. So we need some updates on Ulster Spring, what's happening for that fire station. And this matter has been one that goes from throne speech to throne speech, a matter that has been on the agenda from maybe about 2021. So we need some update on that one. Final one at number 27, government plus the World Bank to begin implementation of social protection for increased resilience opportunity project. That's the Spira project. They launched that, so that's done, launched that in November last year, and this is set to span 6 years. So for this one, they said to begin implementation, and they've launched that and begun. So I put that as done as well. Of all of them, the government scored about 63%.
Mm-hmm. So what's the number done? What number
it's about 17.
What are the 27?
27.
Mm-hmm. So 17 done out of 27.
17 done out of 27. So we're seeking updates on the ones that are outstanding. Yeah.
How many outstanding?
The beach, about 10. The beach developments, the fire station, and some of these legislative matters. Mm-hmm. The mediation bill, amendments to the, the Jamaica Trust Act, was it?
Jamaica National Heritage Trust?
Jamaica National, right. Mm-hmm. The Jamaica National Heritage Trust Act, as well as those amendments that are shifting over.
Piece of legislation.
Right, to the 2025-2026 agenda.
Mediation one as well.
Mediation one. Mm-hmm. And this bill about petroleum downstream activities, that would be under Minister Vaz, Energy, right, to get more information on what that is about. But really good job, I'd say.
So hold on, but if you say 17 done, remember you said that's somewhere in progress, And so I counted, rough check, about 4 or 5 outstanding. So 17 done, about 5 outstanding, that's 22. That would mean that about 5 are in progress.
In progress.
Yeah, so 5 in progress, 5 outstanding. So
would you put I'd put the in progress under the same heading as
done?
As done.
No, because if you say, remember, you're the one who gave us the rubric, You said that if they said that they're going break ground for something, and they did break ground, and it's done. And you also said
because they said commence. If you say commence,
absolutely,
that's done.
But there are some things that were done this year, That meaning you say you're going to do it this year, it's going to be done. Address, you're going to start the needs registration, the NERA, so forth. That's done. But there are some things that it start, but it don't really reach further than the fact that they break ground. So that's in progress.
And that's what they had told us that they were going to do.
But I'm saying that they said that it was more than that. So remember, two different. I'm working with you. So there were some that they said they were going to break ground where they broke ground. There were some others where they said that they were going to do it and they've only broken ground so far. So that's in progress. Mm-hmm. And then you have some that are still outstanding. But whichever way you take it, the overwhelming majority of things are done.
So here's an update on one that is supposed to be added to what now the
done list.
Done list. So I got some information just now to say that ground was broken for the St. Catherine divisional headquarters
Oh,
as
for the
well.
police.
So I got Westmoreland.
Yeah.
So I'm also being told that the St. Catherine Divisional HQ ground was broken for that one as well.
Okay.
I even got pictures.
All right. All right. Good. Good. Good.
So what I'll do is to go back through our data, see how I calculate to see their overall. I bet people are going off in the
Yeah, man,
comments.
never quarrel because SH says, George, no confuse. In progress, it's done. No man, SH. There are some where you said you were going to do more than break ground, but you have broken ground, so that's in progress. And then there are some where you say you're going to break ground and you've broken ground, so that's done.
Yes.
But that's different from, so it's different. We don't want to give them marks that they don't deserve. But whichever way you go,
that's a lot of
that's
work.
a lot of done things, and in progress. They could have stalled because we've seen throwing speeches where you look back and most of the things them not start yet.
They
So,
have not
there you go.
started. That's 27 items, many of them done, a lot of them in progress. Yeah. Fewer.
It's more than I thought.
Outstanding.
When you went to the list, I said, most of them something not started or not done.
They have.
I was surprised.
I was surprised as well while doing the research to see that many things have been done. 27 items, and that's the review for you.
She said 18 done, Mr. King. Is this segment done?
The Ministry of Justice offers free counseling to victims of crime. Call 876-946-0663. The time by the Ministry of Justice is
6:49.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The Temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 19 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Yes, it's tax time. March 17 is the due date for your income tax returns. Self-employed individuals are required to file their annual returns SO4 and estimated return SO4A with income tax, education tax, NHT, and NIS due and payable on one return. Companies are required to file the ITO2, which is the annual return, and the estimated return ITO7. Visit jamaicatax.gov.jm or call 888-TAX-HELP for details. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Someone in the chat, CJ Martinez, says, George, the fire station on at Trelawney. Boy, we need it bad. And then somebody else said, Student for Life said, boy, when Tana started, they felt nervous. But after she finished, everything on their breakfast tray tasted better. Tell you what the people. Ludlow McLean is lining up. Well, he's on tap with the Street Smarts 1. Good morning, Ludlow.
I'm lined up.
All right, then.
Morning, Tana.
Hey, to you, Ludlow.
Morning to everyone here in the studio. So this is a Motor Republic. It's a usual busy morning, but what I noticed earlier on is the usual heavy flow of traffic going along Washington Boulevard and also coming out of 3 miles and also going further beyond 6 miles and even beyond that Mandela Highway. And I'm just trying to see if I can identify what has happened to the public transportation. And I noticed a lot of people were out yesterday waiting for public transportation. And it's a similar situation this morning. I'm not so sure what the situation if buses are not on time or not on schedule. But let's see what happens during the course of the morning. And normally you see taxis loading and picking up people. I didn't notice that yesterday morning or even this morning. But maybe by the time I passed, they would have picked up and moved on. But as usual, the flow of traffic is along Reddings Road and along Constance Road coming down Manningville Road, those areas. But it's moving in that particular area. As I said, the greatest build-up is really heading to the 3 miles from 6 miles on along Washington Boulevard. But if you're going around to Barbican at this time, it's a steady flow coming off Arcadia Drive, Russell Lights, and around Barbican Road, eastbound. Not so sure what's happening in Harper Tree Square yet, but by the time we get to our second report, we'll tell you. But there's a lot of serious clouds above, and actually the sun is trying to make its way. But if you're traveling eastbound and it gets a little brighter, I'm sure it's going to obscure your vision, provided that if you don't have a sun visor in your vehicle or your sunshades on. So it's our first report for the morning. I can tell you, George, I noticed a lot of garbage trucks moving around.
Jermaine says yes too. If them would look like them stop crash them now though, because I saw when they just came, I see 2 turn over upon Spanish Town Road, 1 running at the ditch on the Mandela Highway. I said no, the man might drive and shot them. So what looks like they've settled down. All right, Lodo, thank you. 7:18 again.
Down, yeah.
All right, good. Right. The word of the day up next.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Your word of the day, spelled I-N-G-L-E-N-O-O-K, spelled I-N-G-L-E-N-O-O-K.
Inglenook. Inglenook. Inglenook.
Inglenook is your word of the day, and it simply means a corner or nook near a fireplace. It's a noun, Inglenook. Dictionary.com telling us that the word was first recorded between 1765 and 1775, Inglenook. To use it in a sentence, she curled up in the Inglenook reading her favorite novel by the firelight. Another for you, the old cottage featured a charming inglenook built of stone and timber. Inglenook is your word of the day, spelt again I-N-G-L-E-N-O-O-K, meaning a corner or nook near a fireplace. Up next, your features at the top of the hour, the news.
In most cases, no one knows what causes high blood pressure. What is known is that the foods you eat can affect your blood pressure in both good ways and bad. The DASH diet is praised by doctors for contributing to the lowering of high blood pressure. In Food for Thought today, what is the DASH diet and how does it work? DASH stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. The DASH diet is a healthy eating plan designed to help treat or prevent hypertension. The DASH diet includes foods that are rich in potassium, calcium, and magnesium. These nutrients help control hypertension. The diet limits foods that are high in sodium, saturated fat, and added sugars. Studies have shown that the DASH diet can lower blood pressure in as little as 2 weeks. The diet can also lower low-density lipoprotein, LDL, or bad cholesterol levels in the blood. High blood pressure and high LDL cholesterol levels are 2 major risk factors for heart disease and stroke. The DASH diet is rich in vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. It includes fat-free or low-fat dairy products, fish, poultry, beans, and nuts. What does the DASH diet look like? Here is registered dietitian Angie Placeres with the details of this diet.
Grains is 6 to 8 servings per day, and we're going to specify what their servings are in a minute, so just hold tight on that. And the grains, remember, are like the quinoa, the brown rice, the whole grains, and cereals and breads. Vegetables, 4 to 5 servings a day. Fruits, 4 to 5 servings a day. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really easy to get in. So low-fat dairy is 2 to 3 servings a day. Then we have our lean meat, poultry, and fish, 6 servings or less per day, and this is 6 ounces, and we're going to specify again in a minute. Nuts, seeds, and legumes is a whole other category, 4 to 5 servings per week. which is basically try to consume them every day. And then your oils and some of the sweets, use sparingly.
So let's go back to the grains.
So a serving size, for example, is 1 slice of whole wheat bread. So if you're making a sandwich, you have 2 slices of bread, you have 2 servings right there. And then maybe you're going to eat brown rice, or you're going to do a quinoa, something like the example we have here today. Any kind of a whole grain is going to add a lot of fiber and energy to your meals, which is great. Energy is what we get, which is what we need throughout the day, whether you're going for a walk or a jog, or you're just working and you need brain food. So we want to make sure not to forget about the grains, which provide our healthy carbohydrates. And then also keep in mind that once it's cooked, it grows a lot. So this is where a lot of people get confused. So with quinoa and rice and pasta, it's a similar serving, about half a cup. Same thing with potatoes, whether it be sweet potato, white potato, or corn. These are called starchy vegetables. So we consider them, yes, they're vegetables and they're starchy, so they're more of a grain.
Angie Placeres, registered dietitian. That's all for Food for Thought today.
Fearless and fair, Nationwide 90 FM.
Ever wonder if you smell? Self-conscious about the way you smell? Tempted to smell yourself in public? I'm Tana, and today on Lifestyle Pages, I'll give you a few tips on how to control your body odor. Take care of your personal hygiene and it will take care of you. Keep yourself squeaky clean. Shower at least once per day. This will wash away any body odor causing bacteria that may harbor on your skin. Use antibacterial soap. This will assist in reducing bacteria on the skin, hence reducing your body odor. When you go shopping for soaps, make sure to look for the word antibacterial on the packaging. Dry skin thoroughly. Don't only use the wash rag on your skin. Use a dry towel as well. If the skin is dry, then it's less likely to cause bacteria multiplying. You might also want to change your deodorant. Choose one that has antiperspirants on the label. This will help keep sweat away. Change your clothes regularly. It is recommended to wear cotton fiber clothes because this allows your skin to breathe, keeping you drier and odor-free. Lastly, drink plenty of water. I'm Tana, and those were your Lifestyle Pages today.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 19 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
the most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 today, Tuesday, February 18, 2025, 41% of Jamaicans believe Mark Golding has been doing an average job as opposition leader, and Golding struggles to win over female voters. Political science professor urges the PNP to present clear policies for Jamaica's development ahead of the next general election. And JUTC bus drivers have taken industrial action, while internationally the US and Russia are holding talks about the war in Ukraine.
News at 7 is brought to you by Fosrich, your electrical, lighting, solar, and LED people.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Commuters in sections of Kingston and Spanish Town in St. Catherine are stranded this morning as some drivers of the state-owned bus company JUTC have withdrawn their services. The company has confirmed that drivers at the Rockfort and the Spanish Town depots, who are represented by the University and Allied Workers Union UAWU, withdrew their services effective 4 a.m. on Tuesday. They are demanding that 2 workers in the UK's bargaining group be fired. The 2 employees, a wife and husband, were involved in an incident on February 15 where a driver was allegedly assaulted. JUTC says following a series of meetings over the weekend and on Monday, members of the management team and representatives of both worker unions reviewed CCTV footage of the incident. The JUTC management has launched a probe and in the interim removed the 3 workers from frontline duty without any loss of benefit. The information was communicated to the unions and staff on Monday. Monday. The company says the action to withdraw services is unnecessary given that management has responded to the reported incident in an appropriate manner. The management of the JUTC is appealing to the drivers to perform their assigned duties. It says efforts are being made to speak with union representatives to restore normal operations at the affected depots. The matter will be escalated as considered necessary.
The nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
A plurality of Jamaicans, 41%, believe Mark Golding has been doing an average job as opposition leader over the last 4 years. That's according to the latest nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools. But despite high levels of ambivalence about the job Golding has been doing, he can take comfort in the fact that the number of Jamaicans who believe he's doing a poor job has declined significantly from the high of 51% recorded in 2022. Since April 2024, the job of opposition leader comes with a cushy salary of more than $25 million per year. Mark Golding takes every cent of that salary. But when the Blue Dot pollsters asked 1,500 registered voters to rate Golding's performance at his day job, they were largely ambivalent. 41% said he was doing an average job. 36% say he was doing a poor job, while 23% rated the opposition leader's performance as good. Golding has been able to bring his job approval out of the mud of 2022 and 2023, when a high of 51% of voters said he was doing a poor job. But those voters are not ready to go with Golding. At best, his job approval has been stagnant since February last year, when 42% of voters gave him that rating. It remained at 42% in September 2024. Most troubling for the opposition leader is the fact that the pollsters found a decline in the number of respondents who say he's doing a good job. That good rating has fallen 6 percentage points from the high of 29% recorded in September last year. The pollsters say that dip may suggest Golding is having trouble maintaining positive momentum with the electorate. Golding's difficulty in escaping the average job approval rating may be firmly rooted in the fact that nearly 50% of unaffiliated voters gave him an average rating. That suggests a high level of ambivalence. 38% of unaffiliated voters gave him a poor job approval rating, suggesting high skepticism, while 14% of the unaffiliated voters believe he has done a good job. Interestingly, 30% of PNP supporters also believe Golding has been just average at his job, 8% say he has been poor, and 62% of comrades say he has been doing a good job. Unsurprisingly, the Labourites were less kind. 53% of JLP supporters say Mark Golding has been doing a poor job, 41% say he's been average, and 6% gave him a good rating. The PNP say it's time to go with Golding. They say time come. But the data suggests voters want more from drinking the orange Kool-Aid. The nationwide Blue Dot polls were conducted between January 21 and February 1. It has a margin of error of plus or minus 2.5%. George Davis for Nationwide News. Meanwhile, Mark Golding continues to face an uphill climb in winning over female voters. 41% of them rate his job performance as average. 20% say it has been good, but 39% of women say Golding has been poor as opposition leader. That 39% is 7 percentage points higher than the 32% of men who also say Golding has been doing a poor job. 41% of men say Golding has been average at his job, while 27% say he has been doing a good job. That good rating from men is 7 percentage points higher than women were prepared to give. When it comes to age, older voters appear more likely to view Golding's performance favorably. In fact, the strongest support for the job he's been doing over the last 4 years was among voters in the age group 55 to 64 years, where 34% say he's done a good job. That's followed by voters over 65 years, where 33% also say Golding has done a good job. Young voters have significant levels of ambivalence about Golding's job performance. 50% of them in the 18 to 24 age group say Golding has been average at his job. 31% of this cohort say the opposition leader has been poor at his job, while 18% said he's been doing a good job.
The nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
Associate Professor of Political Science and Policy Studies at Elon University, Dr. Damian Blake, says the opposition PNP must present clear plans to Jamaica if it intends to win the next general election. His comment comes in response to the latest nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools, which show the electorate sharply divided on whether the Holness administration deserves a third term.
The general narrative, the slogan, time coming, is very catchy, but in many ways I think it's empty, right? And they need to show in a robust way how they are going to change the lives of the average Jamaican. I think that they should at least start to show the makings of their plans and the ways in which they would address these issues. But if the PNP don't act now and start to flesh out how they plan to address these things and what they're bringing to the electorate, I think that they may shoot themselves in the leg and snatch defeat from the jaws of what seems to be a potential close election here. They really should get out there and start to flesh things out.
The nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools found that 50.1% of respondents believe the government should be re-elected, while 49.9% disagree, essentially a dead heat 50-50. Pollsters interpret the results as a sign of a fluid political landscape, with both the JLP and PNP having an opportunity to sway undecided voters. Dr. Blake notes that the Holness administration still has significant work to do in convincing the electorate that it deserves another term in office.
It's always challenging for incumbent parties to win elections, right? And more so for a three-peak or a third term. And it's also very difficult for the electorate as well to go back to the same party 3 times, right? There's a natural kind of lethargy with the party, impatient. And so I think that is being reflected in the numbers there. It suggests to me that the governing party has some work to do to get the, unaffiliated independent voters into the fold. But elections are funny things, right? I wouldn't say that that time has run out. I think there's time for the governing party to tighten its screws and to go out and to make some more inroads into the unaffiliated, because that number at this point in time, 8 months before the elections, that number is too high for comfort, I would say.
Dr. Damian Blake, Associate Professor of Political Science and Policy Studies at Elon University. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Monday. The country's point-to-point inflation rate fell slightly at the end of January. That's according to the latest information from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin. Statin says the point-to-point inflation rate for the month was 4.7%. That's down from the 5% recorded in December 2024. Statin says the rate was influenced mainly by changes in the division, food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuels, and restaurants and accommodation services. The rate remains in line with the Bank of Jamaica's mandated rate of 4 to 6%. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government's handling of debt is superior to that of the previous PNP administration. The Prime Minister was reacting to the estimates of expenditure for the 2025-26 fiscal year tabled in the House of Representatives last week. In a post on his social media pages, the Prime Minister says the government is spending significantly less of taxpayers' money on debt interest than the PNP did during its time in government.
In the current budget, we had $317.3 billion of debt principal. We used $66 billion of our own resources towards paying down the debt, and we refinanced the rest. In the new budget, only $162.7 billion of principal becomes due, or 48.7% less than the current budget. As a result, interest payment for the upcoming fiscal year is $4.8 billion less, or 2.6% less. Under the last budget in the PNP, the portion of your taxes that went to paying interest on the debt was 33.6%.
The government is planning to spend approximately $1.3 trillion for the upcoming fiscal year. This figure is nearly $100 billion less than the initial estimates of expenditure tabled for the current fiscal year. Additionally, it's almost $126 billion less than the third supplementary estimates tabled in January this year. The Prime Minister, in championing the budget, credits the fiscal discipline applied by his administration for its ability to fund local development in the year ahead.
In our upcoming budget, the portion of your tax that will go to paying interest is down to 18.7%. We have cut it almost in half. Paying down the debt in a disciplined, orderly way creates more space for sustainable spending on the things that improve your quality of life, like another 100 new buses. When you are responsible and disciplined in doing the right thing, you will confound the naysayers. We are spending more on the people's needs without taking more from the people's pockets, while at the same time reducing the national debt. This is a good thing. Jamaica must never go back to the days of supporting reckless politicians who spend without regard just to get political power.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Losses at the state-owned Jamaica Urban Transit Company continue to climb, with projections putting it on track to nearly triple in the new fiscal year. That's according to the public body's estimates of expenditure and revenue for 2025-2026 tabled in the House of Representatives last week. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, has long been a drain on the public purse, plagued with issues such as declining ridership, fuel theft, and an aging fleet. The upcoming financial year for the state-run bus company seems bleak. The company is projecting operational losses of nearly $7 billion. That's an increase of almost 300% over the approximately $1.8 billion in losses recorded in the current fiscal year. This is also after the nearly $11 billion in government subvention to the JUTC is taken into consideration. Total operating expenses for the bus company for 2025-2026 are anticipated to increase to just over $15 billion. That's $4 billion more than the $11 billion recorded in 2024-2025. That's a 36% increase in the JUTC's operating costs. It's also clear the bus company's revenues are not keeping up. The JUTC is projecting to gross $1.6 billion in income in 2025-2026. This is a 20% improvement on the $1.3 billion the company plans to take in for the current fiscal year. Staffing costs represent the JUTC's largest expense. It's projected to jump to just over $6 billion in 2025-2026, up by nearly $2 billion when compared to the current fiscal year. The JUTC's second largest expense is bus maintenance, and the government is planning to spend nearly $3 billion on upkeep of the JUTC fleet. Additionally, it's projecting to spend $2.3 billion on fuels and lubricants. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Siobhan. Meanwhile, a man was shot dead by a gunman at a garage on Folly Road in Port Antonio on Monday. Reports are that about 5 p.m., a gunman walked up to the man and opened fire, hitting him multiple times. The dead man has been identified as O'Shane Reed, also known as Gusu. Sources say he worked as an auto mechanic and a technician at the garage. The latest incident has increased the number of murders recorded in Portland so far this year to 3. A Haitian man succumbed to injuries sustained in a fistfight with another Haitian in Windsor Forest, East Portland on Sunday night. Preliminary reports are that the two men were among a group of Haitians in Windsor Forest Square when the members of the group got into an argument and a tussle ensued. One of the men was punched, lost his balance, and fell on his back. Video footage shows when his head hit the asphalted surface. Residents say he was taken to hospital, where he later died. Residents say the group of Haitians has been in the community for the past 7 months. Overseas news now. The US and Russia are holding talks in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday about the war in Ukraine. It's the first in-person meeting since Moscow's full-scale invasion 3 years ago. Neither Ukraine nor Europe were invited. The US says today's talks are a first step to see if Russia is indeed serious about ending the war. Russia, meanwhile, says it hopes to normalize relations with Washington. The Kremlin says Vladimir Putin is prepared to speak to Volodymyr Zelensky if necessary, but Zelensky has repeatedly said he won't recognize a peace deal negotiated without Ukraine. That's the news.
News at 7 was brought to you by Fosrich, your electrical, lighting, solar, and LED people.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:17.
Fix up with Fleetwood products for your home improvement, personal care, and aromatherapy needs. They have your well-being in mind. Available at retailers island-wide. The temperature by Fleetwood Jamaica is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 19 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
When last you get good bun, you don't know good bun until you have a mother's bakery bun. From you pull open the wrapper and it's soft so till. A so bun for nice. And from when you take the first bite, love it so till. A so bun for nice. Beg your piece.
Get your own mother's bakery bun.
I will buy one off you.
Yes, but I will charge a convenience fee.
I will take one. Me too. Mother's bakery buns. A so bun for nice. Try them today.
Jamaica, we are on the road to Republic. The Constitution Amendment Republic Act 2024 has been tabled, taking us one step closer to a future with our own Jamaican head of state. Read the bill and track its progress at roadtorepublic.mlca.gov.jm. Your voice matters. Get involved and stay informed. Join the journey and let's walk this road together. The Republic starts with you.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning again, Ludlow.
George, morning again. It is now bright and sunny. Some nimbus and cirrus clouds are above. And just as I said earlier this morning, the sun is there now. So if you're on the westbound side heading east, definitely you're going to have the sun right in your face. So those of you with the visors or your sunglasses, put them on or use the visor. The traffic still remains heavy, especially going into Half a Tree now. And as a matter of fact, where they're coming from the Eastwood Park end get onto South or Oden Avenue, or you're coming from Malines into Half a Tree Square, going onto South Avenue via Eastwood Park Road. It's the same in the Half a Tree Square area. If you're making it onto Southermere Road, that takes you back onto Hope Road via Parish Place, you're going to have some traffic. Hope Road in that vicinity, heading towards, going across Conton Spring and Half a Tree Road to get onto Agnes Park Road. That area is also busy. And going down a stream of cars vehicles heading down Half a Tree Road, connecting with places like Chelsea Avenue and also Oxford Road. Beechwood Avenue in both directions is not too bad, but a little bit up as you get to Half a Tree Road. Lanehurst Road has traffic, but it's moving steadily, and going up Retirement Road into the Crossroads area, you will also have some traffic there. What's happening around the other areas? Marasca, Caledonia, there's traffic, but it's moving. Arthurwin coming onto Comrade Com, there's also traffic, but it's moving. And then going from Camp Road to South Camp Road, there's a bit of traffic coming out of Mirren Road also to get onto Camp Road. And when you're moving further down towards South Camp Road, you'll also notice traffic in both directions. But those areas, the traffic is moving. As in Victoria Avenue, East Queen Street, going into Parade, those areas has traffic, but it's moving. So there you go. It's our second report, and I'm still trying to see if I can identify any JUTC buses, but not yet so far. So it means that what the news is carrying is accurate then. So there you go. As usual, that's Street Smart. Your safety is our concern. George, it's over to you.
Thank you. Not Ludlow questioning the accuracy of my news report. Thank you, Ludlow. Up next, Front Page.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales. For for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Just before we start, Tony, I was saying to you off air before 7 that we need to, it just came to my mind, I need to find in the archives that infamous Carlos Hill, "It's paid for" speech. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And we just need to play it back, just for you to hear, and for the listeners who may have forgotten or who didn't know about Cash Plus and how it crumbled, and when the pressure was at its zenith, and Mr. Hill decided to go on the front foot and to bash the critics and to, yeah, and it's famous "It's paid for" speech. Mm-hmm. Weeks later, the House of Cards came tumbling down. So I'm going to look for it when I have some time this week, all right?
And Jermaine, you still have something outstanding. Cliff's stand-up.
Oh, you mean the Penguin? The Penguin. It's the same part of the thing. Oh,
yes.
It was on this morning. It was on Nationwide this morning.
Nationwide this morning.
The date, I can't find the date for you, man. It was, that was infamous.
Yeah.
I laughed.
I've only heard of it through the stories.
I laughed in the office. I may have spilled my breakfast and lid down flatter ground or roll. Yeah. We're going to find it. It's our 20th anniversary.
Yes.
So we're going back into the archives, all right? Anyway.
Turning our attention now to our discussion segment, the front page.
The Nationwide Blue Dot Polls, powered by Total Tools. Total Tools, they almost always have it.
Yes, where we'll be getting reactions to the findings we reported on this morning, reacting to the NNN Blue Dot polls on Golding's favorability rating and his performance. A plurality of Jamaicans, 41%, believe the opposition leader Mark Golding has been doing an average job as in that role over the last 4 years. That's according to the latest Nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools. But despite high levels of ambivalence about the job Golding has been doing, he can take comfort in the fact that the number of Jamaicans who believe he's doing a poor job has declined significantly from the high of 51% recorded in 2022. And Mark Golding continues to face an uphill climb in winning over female voters. 41% of them rate his job performance as average. 20% say it has been good, but 39% of women say Golding has been poor as opposition leader. That 39% is 7 percentage points higher than the 32% of men who also say Golding has been doing a poor job. 41% of men say Golding has been average at his job, while 27% say he's doing a good job. That good rating from men is 7 percentage points higher than women were prepared to give. When it comes to age, older voters appeared more likely to view Golding's performance favorably. Joining us now for some reactions to the findings, political commentator and trade unionist Helene Davis-White, public commentator Suel Anglin. Good morning to you, ladies.
Morning.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. Let's begin with you, Helene. So, just looking back at the data again, in 2022, Golding's poor rating was at 51%. 2023, 51% as well. Last year, in February, it was 33%, so a big drop. And then in September last year, 30%. For the poll findings that we did, and we're revealing now, it has climbed back up to 36%. There's some sort of stagnation in the average rating as well. It was 42% last February, also 42% last September, and it's now at 41%. On the good rating in 2022, it was at 20%. 2023, 20% as well. February last year, 24%, went up to 29% in September last year, and now has dropped back for this latest poll to 23%. Like the pollsters, I'm asking, does this suggest he's having trouble maintaining a positive momentum?
Yeah, well, that is clear, and I think probably a bit troubling this close to an election. In terms of his positive, I would think that the fact that his negative ratings have declined dramatically, that is a positive. But again, between September last year and February this year, I think, there has to be concern because, the trajectory doesn't seem to be going in the right direction this close to an election, whether in terms of those who view him positively or those who view him negatively. So I think Mr. Golding and the PNP has to ask themselves what can be responsible for the change in fortunes between September of last year and this in February, this last poll just conducted. Mm-hmm. In my own mind, I think, and I think this is one of the reasons why you have so many persons in that average grouping, yeah? Because a lot of Jamaicans are really of the view that in Jamaican politics, it's a case of no better herring, no better barrel, particularly on the issue of corruption. And the PNP has been hammering that issue. And yes, it means that they are exposing the government, but a lot of Jamaicans are not convinced that there is this big difference between the PNP and the JLP. And looking at what has happened in September and February, I think the major thing that has happened, certainly in relation to corruption, is the story that has come out of the KSAMC and that situation. And I think a lot of persons would be of the view that Mr. Golding may not have dealt with the issue decisively enough for them, which may mean that this issue of there being no better herring and no better barrels may be something that, Jamaicans are fully onto. Mm-hmm. And I think part of the problem is that a lot of them, because they have formed that view, have opted out of the process. But those who have remained in the process are clearly saying that they need to end, that the both political parties need to ensure that this issue of corruption is dealt with decisively for them to be able to view them positively.
Helene, Sewell, hold the line. After we come back from the break, Sewell bring you in, get your initial reactions to the poll findings.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:30.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios or 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 20 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
If them a hide and a bribe, you know we not sleep. Extortion them want, you know that not keep. Fight against corruption, turn up the heat. Load up the kickback and fraud when you see. Anti-corruption, join in the fight. Let's come together and make this right. When you see wrong, you feel open your mouth. Now there's a new avenue for speak out. We need a reduction. Make we fight against corruption.
The Integrity Commission is working towards Jamaica, where there's integrity, accountability, and transparency in public service, where acts of corruption by persons in public office will be investigated and dealt with transparency and accountability. Stand with us in the fight against corruption. Call the Integrity Commission Anti-Corruption Hotline 876-926-0001.
Make we fight against corruption.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. This is our discussion segment, the front page, looking at findings from our latest nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools, where a plurality of Jamaicans, 41%, believe Mark Golding has been doing an average job as leader of the opposition over the last 4 years. On the line, getting reactions, Soel Anglin and Helene Davis-Dwight. Bringing you in, Soel, what do you make of the findings? The opposition leader was making a steady decline in the poor ratings, but between September last year and now, there has been an increase in those poor ratings from 30% to 36%, stagnant in terms of the average rating, and the good rating, which was seeing some improvement as well. Highest of all, 29% last September, has now dropped to 23%.
Yeah, I mean, I think we continue to see, and I think the public perception of Mark Golding continues to be one of average. And I think that is because over the years as opposition leader, Mark Golding has yet to really step up to the plate. Like, we have yet to see, if you were supposed to take a hold of the government, practically tell us what will you be doing. And I think he has just been opposing for opposing sake, if I may say, with no real substance. And I think that is why we continue to see that decline and a steady in the average, and the now a little bit increase in the poor rating, as the people are still not convinced. What I will say, what they have been doing a little bit better at, which I think why we're seeing a little bit more on that average end of people, is that I think what they've been doing between about last year to this year is that they have upped their comms. And whether that communication is good or bad, and we can talk about. But I think what he has been doing, he has been attacking everything that the GLP has been doing. And I think that in some sense has been working. And again, I can say whether it is actual factual information that he has been attacking the government with is also up for discussion. And I use the example, for example, the JCF has been saying, I think about going into Christmas last year, that crime, has been, going down consistently. Yet still, if you should ask people, about the crime rate, people are going to say that crime is high, crime is high, crime is high. And there's a reason why people's perception of crime is still high. I think that is because that's one of the points that Mark has been using while he has been doing his on-the-ground engagement, that, they're saying that the crime is going down, but eventually they're lying. The crime is not going down. And so I think he has been attacking the Jamaica Labour Party, and for the last year or so, the Jamaica Labour Party comes as been about defending what they're doing. And so I think people are kind of on the edge of, is crime really going down? Is crime really there? So I think a lot of people are still in that average part of it, but they're not seeing any substance for them to move over to good.
Helene, do you think that's a big factor? People are still uncertain about him, not making the shift over to that good performance aspect because they haven't heard, substantially what Mark Golding-led government would present or a Mark Golding-led administration would be like?
I think, yes, that's a substantial part of what is happening because the closer you get to an election, people want to know, what it is that you would be doing differently. And this is why I'm saying that, the PNP is focused on, issues like corruption and crime and so on. But again, because generally people are of this view that both political parties, it's really a case of a pox on both their houses. Just going that route alone won't get you over the hump in terms of an increase in positive ratings. I think Golding should be, comfortable in the fact that he has been able to, organize totally almost the support within the PNP. So that was an important issue, which would have fed into the very high disapproval rating. The fact that he has basically covered that area will mean that it will assist going forward.
Yeah.
But for those persons who are not in the PNP, they want to hear more.
Yeah.
So they know of the corruption because we all know of the corruption in Jamaica. But the thing is that they are not as convinced
Yes.
that the PNP will be any different.
Yes.
And so if you keep hammering that and that alone, it will not get you
Not
over the hump.
not gonna cut through.
You have to now be looking at what it is that I would be doing positively
Yes.
that will make the difference. And I think that is what has happened and is happening to Golding. So
Yeah.
he now has to, and also I think part of the problem is that he, in terms of misspeak, if you may want to call it that misspeak by Dayton, the General Secretary, with regard to taxation.
Yes.
That also would have, put people's minds to question
Yes.
whether, the PNP really knows what it is doing.
I'll add the partisan intervention as well to that, Helene Davis, right? But let me ask Swell this. Given that Mark Golding continues to struggle where female voters are concerned, do you get the impression that this is as a result of the maybe failure or deliberate action taken by the PNP to not try to market him to women, and that we're seeing the result of that in these poll numbers?
I'm not sure if I'm going to still remain on that issue of being marketed to women or not. I think women make a lot of purchasing decisions in the family, whether or not you're a housewife or you're a single mother or whatever. I think women understand perfectly what is happening in the economy. Women are educated. Women.
But hold on, Swell. Let me refine the question so that
Right.
you remain on my track. Here's the thing: when you look globally, yeah, Justin Trudeau was marketed to women as this young, good-looking, debonair kind of guy, and he was marketed as almost like a heartthrob. When Tony Blair came in as New Labour, he was marketed as a young, good-looking British man who had better teeth than British leaders, male leaders coming in to office. Barack Obama got the same thing: young, black, African-American man, this young, good-looking kind of guy, because his handlers tried to push him into that demographic, or those demographic, the demographic of women of the kind you speak of, educated with purchasing power, who are able to sift through the issues in the politics and then get something additional to want to support the leader for. So those things we've seen play out where leaders, men, are marketed that way, trying to get them additional support among key demographics. So I'm asking if it is that perhaps Mark's flatlining or bad numbers among women is indicative of the PNP not trying to use that same kind of strategy to get cut through where women voters are concerned.
I mean, I think if you frame it in that way, then I would say no. But I never saw Mark Golding, even before he became this leader of the opposition. I never saw him in that light. I know when he was campaigning to become opposition leader, we did see a drastic improvement in his appearance. I remember when those photos came on Twitter, everybody was like, "Oh wow!" He was in a suit. His hair was well cut. He was looking nice. And I mean, over the years, he just kind of went back to the Mark Golding that I was used to in politics. So maybe they don't see that as an issue. And I think when you put it from that way, if he's going to be marketable, then, and I think I said this before on one of the times when I was on Nationwide, that his appearance is an issue. I mean, he was at the Sigma Run the other day, for example, and he did not give you that vibe as, this is somebody I want to see as my prime minister kind of thing. Yeah. So, like I've been saying, if they want to make him this whole package, we also have to see him also looking the part of a person that we would want to, represent us as people. And I think they're still failing in that area.
Yeah. Helene, in your mind, we can agree that Mark Golding has come a far way. And the work that has gone around him into making him, likable by an important part of the electorate has yielded results, as we can see from the local government elections. But do you get the sense that there is a quintessential point about Mark Golding? Mark Golding as a leader, Mark Golding as an individual, what he represents, what he stands for, and under his leadership, where Jamaica is likely to go. Has Mark Golding successfully communicated that to the people this close to an election?
I don't think so, because even for those persons in the PNP who support Mark Golding, a lot of them would say to you that, he's not the usual politician. And that is supposed to be a plus in the Jamaican context, meaning that he is somebody who is straightforward, honest, that kind of an individual. Somebody who is also, intellectually sound and so on. But in relation to his performance generally and how people view him, I think he needs to, and the party needs to, do more in terms of what it is that he is and what it is that makes him different.
But is there time, Helene? You know better than most that we are in the sprint to the finish now, Is there time to do that?
I think that is the problem. And so what they have to do now, I believe, is to focus more on what it is that we will do differently. Yeah. So if you're speaking about, say, women, I wouldn't say I refuse to believe, but I hate to think that women are, influenced so much by the look of the individual.
But they are, so, Helene, and that's the point. The data from overseas shows us that women. Hold on, Helene. You heard Swell say it. You see the man in a suit. Listen, the ladies here at Nationwide, they go crazy, and us men in the production, we can understand why you are swoon over that gentleman or that gentleman in that high office, that leader. But it's a thing. It's a real thing that figures prominently in the demographics.
I'm saying, as I hate to think that, but the evidence seems to suggest otherwise. So there may be something that can be done in terms of, marketing him. Because that is easy to do, That was done actually with PJ Patterson at a point where they had to totally redo and his look, because a lot of persons were concerned that he was not getting the kind of oomph that they needed. And I think some of that can be done now. Yeah? And so if that is done now, I think they may be able to. As to whether or not his personality is a kind of conveys this individual who persons will want to gravitate to is another matter. But yes, they can do something in terms of how he's marketed and to women in particular, because in our politics, is a lot of the workers are almost 90% of them are women nowadays.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is important to be able to appeal to that demographic. That is correct.
Yeah.
But I think what will also have to be done is, just look at what has happened between September and February and try to determine what has made that difference that would have resulted in a change in the fortunes. Because if they don't do that, they will continue to do the same old thing and expect different results.
So
I'm thinking that they really need to dig deep down what has happened and see what can be done in the next couple of months. Because as you rightly say, it's now a sprint to the finish.
Yeah. So last question to you. They always tell us don't judge a book by the cover. And I've always wondered, then how else are you going to judge? But there you go. It may be trite to say it, Swell Anglin, but even in politics, looks matter, appearance matters.
And I think, like I said before, I think what they need to do is go back to the drawing board when they were in that race. I think him and Lisa, when they were campaigning for who would become opposition leader, I think they
PNP president, yeah.
Right. I think they need to go back to that drawing board. And I think that kind of revamping of his image, because like I said, I remember when those pictures came on Twitter, people were like, this can't be the same Mark Golding that we've been seeing. So it can work. I think Mark's personality is not that dapper kind of, that dapper kind of image. So I think it is something that somebody will have to like consistently get up every day and say, okay, you're going to wear this, you're going to do this, you're going to look like this. I think that's how it will have to be, because I don't think naturally she's that kind of person. But I do think more effort, even if you take the ladies and the looks outside of it, I think presentation overall, if you're going to be in government, you're going to be the prime minister of the country, you're going to be representing us overseas in meetings, at functions, at events. So even if you take the women's perspective out of it, you do also need to look the part if they're going to actually step up to the plate.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies, this morning. Really appreciate your time. Helene Davis White, Swill Anglin.
Listen up, motorists. Speeding burns more gas. So slow down. The life you save may be your own, and also that of your loved ones. Slow down. Save lives and money. The time by the Insurance Association of Jamaica is
7:49.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 20 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Now, recall our lead story at 7, the service disruption caused by industrial action at the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC. We reported that workers at the depot at Rockfort, that they had taken industrial action and that Spanish Town was also affected. We understand it may be wider than that. There's a statement from JUTC, Tona?
There is. And that statement was issued. It's not a statement. We have a letter here. We have a letter that the
there's a statement that was sent
there's also a statement.
Yeah, a statement sent today under the hand of Chantal Thompson, the corporate communications manager.
I'm seeing the JUTC's letter that seemed to have been sent to staffers. I'm not seeing that statement. Do you have it on hand?
All right, let me go then.
Yeah.
It's in our group. So it says, the Jamaica Urban Transit Company is advising the public that drivers at the Rockfort, Portmore and Spanish Town depots, represented by the University and Allied Workers Union, have withdrawn their services effective 4 a.m. today, February 18, 2025, just like we told you in our newscast. The release continues. This action is in response to an incident involving 2 employees from the Union of Clerical and Supervisory Employees Bargaining Group, which is currently under investigation. The JUTC management has taken preliminary steps to address the matter, including the temporary reassignment of the involved employees while maintaining their employment benefits. These measures were communicated to all relevant parties with assurances that appropriate action will be taken upon the conclusion of the investigation. The statement continues, while we acknowledge the concerns raised, we believe the industrial action is unnecessary as the matter is being handled with due process. The demand for immediate termination of employees without a full investigation is not a course of action the company can take. The withdrawal of service will result in disruptions on several routes. The JUTC says it's implementing contingency measures to minimize the impact on commuters, and further updates will be provided as the situation develops. We urge the drivers, JUTC says, to resume their duties and allow the process to unfold in a fair and just manner. The company says it's actively engaging with union representatives to reach a resolution and restore normal operations as soon as possible. JUTC says they crave the public's patience and understanding as they work towards resolving this matter. The contact person, of course, is Chantal Thompson, the corporate communications manager. So there you have it. The 3 depots, Rockford, Portmore, Spanish Town, all affected, well, 3 of them. And if what the JUTC is saying is true, so there's a dispute and the workers are demanding that 2 other workers be sacked immediately. I don't understand, because you couldn't go to them and say you're going to sack you immediately without due process. No. They would say, no, you can't do that because you have to follow due process. So I don't know, but you never can take one side of these stories. You have to hear both sides. And we've heard what JUTC said. If that's what it is, then it's disappointing that it has reached this level. Very disappointing.
Yeah. I have to think about the effects of these things. People, commuters who are left stranded, have to this morning think about other arrangements to get to school and work. But then on the other side, you understand frustrated co-workers who perhaps see a matter, because I understand in relation to what has taken place, there is CCTV footage. Is it that they've seen the CCTV footage, believe that, listen, the thing is played out here, see it there. Mm-hmm. You have the enough evidence, do something, but you still can't do it like that. Right. You have to follow all the proper protocols.
Just like a murder investigation, you've watched somebody take up a gun and shoot somebody else, and you say, so what am I going to quote for? Right. Just lock him up? Yeah. No, it can't work like that. No. There you go. Now, just another word on the Golding issue that we were talking about just now, the voter sentiment. The specific question put by the Blue Dot pollsters, which of course resulted in the findings that we presented in the news and which formed the centerpiece of the discussion we just had. That specific question, on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being extremely poor and 10 being exceptional, how do you rate the performance of Mark Golding after almost 4 years as opposition leader? And as we told you, his good rating is at 23%, coming up from 2022, where the Blue Dot data started being crunched, being gathered. His average rating is the second highest it has ever been at 41%, just marginally above 42 in September 24 and February 24. And his poor rating is, well, it was falling steadily. Well, it fell significantly between 2023 and February 2024, when it moved from 51 to 33. But then it fell by 3 percentage points in 2024 of September, but then it's gone up again. So I don't know what to make of that. And the thing is this, our politicians are such that I find it amazing. Unless our politicians pay for the polls themselves, they tend to not believe the poll findings. I've never seen anything so paradoxical, if you want to call it that. You've paid for a poll, and you know that the pollsters want to come to give you the good news. And I'm not saying that happens, because the pollsters find what they find. But if somebody else does a poll, and it's not you do the poll, you say, oh, foolish is that. But you believe the poll that you have paid out of your pocket to collect. And so it would be foolhardy, because these poll numbers by Blue Dot and these poll findings have held up across the elections we've had since they've started polling. You can't question the integrity of the numbers. You can't question the quality of the instrument that they use to produce the results that they've produced. And it is now for the political parties to make hay out of the situation presented.
Yes.
Women are such dominant members of the voting population that it is necessary that you give women something to hold on to. There are many women over time who've gone to a polling station to vote because they look upon the person who are offer themselves and like him. him look like, I'll never vote for him. Yeah. So it's a real thing.
And women hold a big card because you have a yard, the matriarch, and all of the other people in there who are eligible to vote. I remember a situation, I think it was 2016, where the matriarch said she not vote, and nobody else in the yard now vote. And some convincing was done at some point of the day. She decides, okay, I'm going to vote. And everybody else say, okay, we're going to vote too.
Yes.
Yeah, so the opinion of the women voters, counts.
You know what worked for Mark Golding in the run-up to the local elections in February last year? You remember when they released the pictures of his family? And
yes.
Of course, there were some people said nasty things about the man's family, which totally inappropriate, uncalled for. But the family thing, it gave him a different side. It painted a different side to him. And people said, but as Swell said, when he saw him in the suit and here, well turned out, and people said, nah, man, but Mark, as a family man, the family look good, man, and the wife and everything, and a softer side to Mark Golding. And people felt better about him in that moment.
If you realize that's working, do more of that. If you realize marketing him as the family man, the soft guy with the children, the beautiful wife, do a bit more of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Because every leader has weaknesses.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know your leader's weaknesses. So you try to, counter that and market what people are liking or appreciating out there.
And be careful of those people around you. Anybody who's running for public office. The ones around you who say that image is not important. It's rubbish. Image is the biggest industry in the world behind entertainment.
They'll tell you, this one don't look prime ministerial, this one look prime ministerial, blah, blah,
Thirst
blah.
is nothing. Image is everything. Because the image business is why hair and skincare and hygiene products are so lucrative because image. And so even Vladimir Putin, at this stage of his leadership in Russia, regularly posts pictures of him on horseback out in the Russian bush, shirtless, fishing, because he's playing to an image of a rugged action kind of guy. I'm the guy you want to invest the safety of Russia in his hands. I can do it. And the woman also see aside, but he's looking fit for his age. He's capable. That kind of thing. So image is very, very important.
Here's another example as we wrap as well, George. I think whomever were the handlers of Dr. Peter Phillips did a poor job in relation to his imaging because they tried to pit him against the prime minister who are trying to have a who is more fit kind of vibe. You knew that Dr. Phillips was not going to meet up to Prime Minister Holness, right? They were in different spheres in relation to fitness. But what Peter Phillips had was this statesman-like vibe around him.
Yeah, wise uncle.
Yeah. Keep the man in his suits, making nice speeches. Instead of having him trying to,
fit into a polo shirt.
And work out in the gym. And it never worked.
No.
Yeah. Let's take a break for Across Jamaica.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales. For a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8 o'clock.
Success, powered by learning. The temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 20 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's Across Jamaica this morning.
Taking you across Jamaica this Tuesday morning, I'm Tona Thomas. Government has allocated more than $100 million to build the Hanover Justice Center. The purpose of the center is to extend the provision of restorative justice, child diversion, and mediation services in the parish. It's intended to improve access to justice services, provide the physical infrastructure necessary for the implementation of the National Mediation Program, and improve efficiency and service delivery through the co-location of services. The project also aims to reduce case backlog through the use of alternative dispute resolution and diversion mechanisms, reduce the number of children exposed to the formal criminal justice system, and scale and deepen existing partnerships. Construction of the facility is 15% underway, with a completion schedule set for fiscal year 2025-2026. Details of the allocation are contained in the 2025-26 estimates of expenditure tabled in the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, construction of the Clarendon Justice Center is set to begin this fiscal year. The government has allocated $90.5 million for the project, with a completion target of 35% during the period. The St. Anne police are investigating the circumstances in which a man was stabbed to death by his girlfriend on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as Swain Reeves. Police reports indicate that Reeves was stabbed to death sometime after 6:50 p.m. in the Happy News district in Alexandria. The main suspect, his 21-year-old girlfriend, is in police custody. A 17-year-old boy has been charged with murder and arson following a fire that claimed the life of a man in Frome, Westmoreland earlier this month. The accused was arrested and later charged in connection with the death of 42-year-old Damon Cohen, also known as Skateboard, a labourer of Chateau Road in the parish. The incident occurred around 5:20 a.m. on Monday, February 3. Residents reportedly noticed smoke coming from Cohen's boardhouse. At the time, the house and its contents were already engulfed in flames. After the blaze was extinguished, members of the Savlamar Fire Department discovered the charred remains of a body believed to be Cohen's. The 17-year-old was later apprehended during a police operation in the parish. He was charged following a question and answer session. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Tuesday morning.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
JPS, aye, my JPS app. The mobile app, brave as I said hot. With the mobile app, you feel know you can't flop the app in a happiness. Cause what? My JPS app easy, turn a riddle my light off it bright than the moon. If I want thing me love me JPS app, me I tell you about it in a the tune. My JPS app easy, turn a riddle for me light off it bright than the moon. If I want thing me love me JPS app, yeah we fully outside with the crew. JPS, pouring what matters.
In this uncertain U.S. immigration climate, you need expert guidance you can trust. The Consular Queen LLC handles visas, waivers, petitions, and more, making immigration stress-free. Don't navigate the process alone. Get professional support today. Call 470-593-8448 now. That's 470-593-8448. The Consular Queen. Unite families, change lives. 470-593-8448. Secure your future today.
Yeah, Fry! I wish you don't buy Chinaman playing at Japan last night.
Please do not address me as Fry Eye. My name is Mark.
Oh wait, I talk so spooky.
And besides, I have no clue what any Chinese man played. But I do know what the latest Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools, are showing.
So me ask this man about dropping and this brother I talk about poll.
Be quiet, peasant. Listen to the revolution in media starting with the 6 a.m. news on Monday, February 17 to hear the key findings, including which party is favored by most potential voters for the next general election.
But look, pan the man who me and him near me same bread and mackerel gravy for lunch pan the site with you. I will take you.
I'm struggling to understand that strange dialect you speak, but hear this. The pollsters went into 2 traditional swing seats, and those results will be included in the big reveal. That's the nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools, starting February 17 on Nationwide 90 FM, the source for the only numbers you'll ever need.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Now, as promised for our YouTubers, there will be a giveaway for you guys. There will be a giveaway, so gear up your fingers to type the correct answer in the chat. And yeah, I have the question for you now. Of course, the gift is courtesy of Chocolate Dreams. Michelle Smith launched Chocolate Dreams in 2004. Where was I in 2004? I was in maybe grade 5.
What? I was in my 3rd year at university.
I think so. Yeah, I started high school in 2005. But yeah, in 2004, Michelle Smith, she launched Chocolate Dreams from her small 2-bedroom apartment. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Her curiosity around chocolate was sparked years earlier with her very first entrepreneurial endeavor, an erotic store. In the world of chocolate, the ideas are limitless. And the treat was a bestseller at her store. She also began to wonder why Jamaica wasn't a bigger player in the billion-dollar chocolate industry, given that it has one of the top 5 fine flavored cocos in the world. Yeah, so Michelle Smith started Chocolate Dreams in 2004. And the question we're asking this morning, only for our YouTubers, what is the new location of Chocolate Dreams? What is the new location of Chocolate Dreams? And I'm waiting for my producer to give me the answer. I think here it comes. Okay, there we go. So what is the new location of Chocolate Dreams?
Me miss.
Yeah, you can't. You're not eligible. You're not eligible. So Michelle is paying attention to the chat. And Michelle, you want a full address? No. Yeah.
Hey.
So I see somebody run out already, but that's not the full address. Our producer, Michelle McCray Smith, is
Can I give a clue? Can I give them a clue?
Yes, you can.
Oh, somebody has it, you know.
Somebody.
King Grogu. You see that?
King
Grogu. You gonna take
I've
that?
never seen that.
Yeah, man. After Loy Gordon. Loy Gordon said Devon House.
Oh, Michelle, you say that's not the full address. You're not taking that? You're
No,
taking
but
it?
you have to take that.
Okay. So, King Grogu, you are the winner. Congratulations to you. Congratulations. But here's the problem now. You see, because I asked for the
Specific address?
Yeah.
There are people with the specific address?
Before.
Hold on, man.
No, he's the first.
Yeah, man, he's the first, right? So you have to give him.
Yeah.
You have
King
to give him.
Grogu, congratulations to you. So, Michelle will reach out to you in the chat so you can arrange to pick up your prize. Yeah.
So give him the address now.
So the answer, 9 Hibiscus Drive, Brown House, Brown Gate, Sweet Dreams on the gate with the number 9. I don't think you guys could write out all of that anyway. So 9 Hibiscus Drive. That's the answer.
And that's near to the stoplight to turn off to Russell Heights from Barbican Road. Yeah, so when you pass High-Low Supermarket and you're going down, it's on your left. So it's down this way there.
Mm-hmm.
And that would answer. Yeah, man, near the stoplight, they're going to place them and yeah.
Yeah.
And get it.
There's a video that went viral some years ago of a little girl. I think it was, no, it wasn't a taxi driver. Some people came to a neighborhood and was asking her where so-and-so day. And she tell them, said they must go down, go up at something place there. When them see a tree, they must take you left. Then they must go down. Then they must go see a church. And then when them see the church, they must keep straight. Then they must go see a blue shop.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
bad.
I'd be completely lost.
But Jamaicans are notorious. There was one in the...
Or they tell you, oh, just around the corner.
And a far. but there's a distinction, though, you know. When somebody says something far, it's okay. But when somebody said for,
oh yeah,
murder. Hold
Timbuktu.
on. There's a famous video of directions being given by a man who appears to be drunk. He was from the BlackBerry days come over into WhatsApp. So that transition said made it
BBM to WhatsApp.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
So the man said, hey, like I say, what you say you want to go? Smoky Church? All right. Is where you drive on the road there, go through. Yeah? And when you go through now, you drive a little bit more, and then you come to our next right or left turn, go through. No, go through, you know, go through. All right. When you drive further up, you know, you drive two chain. You know? You drive two chain, you come on one bar in a road. Yeah? You have one road where go through and go through. Go through.
Yeah, I haven't moved off yet and I'm lost. Yeah. Full disclosure says, I taking directions from a drunk man. Good question.
Man, I stuck up. But you see, you have to work with him because you be driving for miles and I see nobody know.
Yeah.
You walk up at one man or you stop, you never know say man there waters. So you ask him, man say go so. Yeah, man.
And there are times, you know, when you haven't seen anybody and then you see somebody and you're like, thank God. You stop and you ask him like, you know, I'm gonna come from around here. Seriously.
People have the wickedest way. I'm sure I've told you about, I was at a football game. We were playing. It was that tournament. So we were playing. So my side was playing. So we got there and, you know, we were warm up and things. So I saw this guy, man, bush out in the man. Tana, the man shoes and everything. The man bush and he had on a ratted watch. Watch glistening in the sun. Some say, yo, my G, at what time? The man look on the watch and say, John, me killer, you know, say, but you just dead.
The lies that were told.
Man, watch dumb. Man say, but you just did it.
Oh, yeah, we know that wasn't working.
Never worked from man. Can we take some calls, Michelle?
Or maybe George. Maybe they don't. The person doesn't know how to read time.
Well, yeah, me don't want to tell you more story of one man because I told you already about a man when I used to go to high school who it was long after, years after I realized that him couldn't read the watch.
Yeah.
The man said, you, come here. What time did I say? Come me set it last night, but you know, I keep it right. What time did I say? You man, it say 6:30. All right, cool. You would come here like, you know, me forget about the watch because I watch it not good next morning. I watch it not good enough. What time did I say? They say 6:23. Oh, all right, cool. You know, some really okay the watch every 3 next morning. You know, so the man carry the watch.
That person, he needs a digital watch. Like, sell that one and get a digital watch.
It was a digital watch.
No, George, no. What?
Yes.
No.
Listen, it was a short man, brown eyes.
Numerical deficiency.
He worked at
What?
the ATL on Halfway Tree Road. You see where Rainforest is? It's
Yes.
across from Rainforest, ATL, and I would meet him on Collins Green Avenue. Every morning the man stopped me and tell me some story about the watch, and him don't know what I'm doing. And if I tell him at what time. And it was long after I left I realized that, but I better they couldn't read it. Alric is online. Good morning, Alric.
Morning, Tana. Morning, George.
Morning to you.
Tana, I was in your Captain Wood yesterday. I was in Red Bank, and a whole heap of shout-outs for you. I think when I drink a man, say must call your father, uncle.
Oh, did you get a name?
I don't know if it I don't know. There were a group of them starting. They heard me talking on the phone and realized and asked me if I was Alric. I went over to Mr. Evans to pick up a couple farm things.
Yes, very
and they were right there. And then a blank conversation started. George, them so must big on up.
Yes, man.
Yeah, from Red Bank, Tana.
Yes, that's not my square, but that's the neighboring community. Good morning
Yeah,
to the
told
good
me how
folks
far
of
up
Red
your
Bank.
dad was. Yes, he told me how far up your dad
Yes,
was.
yes,
group
yes.
of guys, man. And they listen, they say from them wake, them listen nationwide till them go to bed. And your cousin said that I think one of his brother died and they buried him with a radio. I don't know if the radio was left or not.
That sounds like something they do. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. George and Tana. I listened to Bobby last night with the poll result, and he was coming down on the poll, and the poll is wrong, and he was telling Ricardo and Siobhan that the poll was wrong. Now I'm wondering what he's going to say this morning now with this poll, because what I get to realize, guys, is that a lot of people, when the poll is not going in their favor or they want it to go, they hit out against the poll. But when the poll is going the way they think they want it to go, the poll is the best thing since sliced bread.
So people stay, bro.
Yes, George?
So people stay, bro.
Yeah, so I was surprised about Bobby, because I hold him at a higher level than that. But boy, I don't know. But this morning I am wondering what he's saying this morning. He might be saying, "Oh, Nationwide hit it off this morning." So George, there's a guy from Orlando who asked me to shout you out. His name is Linton. He listens to you and Tana on the station every day.
That's good, man. That's good.
And he said to tell you that Manu is no big side.
Well, guess what? We're having so many problems right now, but it's not funny. So, Arnett Gardens, my thing for the time being. You understand?
Alright, then. You guys have a good day, Tana. Me just want to tell us I'm going to show you here,
All right,
and,
sir.
And the guys, them say them listen to Tony Roman and say for show to know.
Wonderful.
And the guy from Orlando. Alright, take it easy, man. Keep the good one.
Okay. Thanks, Alric. Have any other calls?
Yeah, man. Whole heap of call over there, man.
Well, somebody just came in the chat and told me who it was that was talking to Alric. Yeah, my cousin. So good morning to you, Peter.
You don't spend the money when you go down, when you go home.
I do.
You do? No, if I'm like him just walking in some shop and just order a whole heap of groceries.
I get stuff.
Yeah,
but
man.
I do give back.
You're a national hero in your place, my girl.
Yeah, it always feels like that when I go home. But I give back stuff too.
All right then. Who? Dane. Morning, Dane.
Good morning, George. How are you?
Good.
Okay. I have several issues I want to speak on. So David, you know that I find that every week when the PNP go on the road, most of the information that comes from most of the speakers is misleading. And I have serious concern. Very, very serious concern.
Why?
Okay. Let's even go.
And how you know say it misleading? What you mean? Talk to me.
Okay. With the SSL matter, what the president of the PNP need to remember, the most important thing is that we have a self-confessed fraudster.
Yes.
The lady actually confessed to the crime.
Yes.
So based on that fact, how is it you are going to try to implicate the government?
Yes.
Right? when the lady already confessed. The lady made attempts to reach out to Mr. Bowles.
Yes.
To tell him that she interfered with the money. She stole the money.
Yes.
So how is it you're going to blame the Prime Minister for taking out his investment and let the thing collapse on Mr. Bowles?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When the lady confessed to the crime.
Yes.
So with that, I'm saying you cannot implicate the government. So that's one.
Well, I can help you with that. What that has the effect of doing is that you're appearing to want to win political support from those who love Bolt so much that they are blind to the evidence. You're trying to get political advantage over Bolt's misfortune. Well, at the same time, you say you love Bolt, because that's what I interpret to be happening, the strategy here from the PNP. That's how I interpret it. Yes.
Even Dayton Campbell.
Yes, you're exploiting Bolt's misfortune for political advantage. Let's say it plainly. I believe that. I'm telling you, I believe that.
Yes, because he's saying that when the PNP form the next government, he's going to ensure that Usain Bolt get back his money. Where are you going to get this money from?
Well, what he said was that they would go in pursuit of what happened to the money. He was careful not to say the PNP would give it back. He never said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the next thing, okay, he said that the Prime Minister is under investigation
for illicit enrichment, which is wrong, which is false. It's blatantly false.
And I think he needs to retract it. I'm calling on him as a citizen of Jamaica to retract it. Because within itself, he knows that it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You see, Mr. Davis, I have a serious problem with the PNP. Okay. When, I don't know if you remember, when Dr. Clark tabled the motion in Parliament about the compensation for parliamentarians.
Yes.
After the motion was tabled, Julian Robinson stood up.
Yes.
He said, we on this side, we welcome the increase.
Yes.
A few days later, the PNP come out, the president, and they shoot it down.
Yes.
Right? They said, no, they're not going to accept it. The increase is too large. Okay? Put that aside. When the incident with the...
But hold on. The PNP didn't say they are not accepting it, you know. The opposition leader says he was not in agreement with it, and that he would be giving part of his initial payment, to charity. But the PNP didn't say that they, as a parliamentary caucus, are not accepting it. But because to a man and a woman, each of them has accepted that increase.
Yes.
Yeah.
But okay, let's go again with the when the Speaker of the House was Mrs. Holness.
Yes.
Was appointed. Mr. Paulwell stood up. He offered her a hearty congratulations. He said, we on this side, we welcome such a move, whatever. A few days after.
Well, not days. It was sometime after, but I get the point you're making, yeah.
Okay. All right. It come back again. Dr. Campbell, he come out, he said if the PNP should form the next government, they will form the fund from the agriculture and they will introduce a tax and some imported. A few days after, again, the leader of the opposition come out again and he said something different.
Yes.
So I have a serious problem with when these people open their mouth.
Yes.
Okay? Okay. Let's go to our next thing. Because, like I said, it's several of them. With the Lorenzo matter, my opinion, you see, when Mr. Golden was introducing Mr. McGregor, you see, when Mr. Golden went on to use the terminology of a real man.
Yes.
What Mr. Golden was doing was to confirm what Lorenzo had said. Indirectly. Because what he's basically trying to say, we had a discussion, right? And you could not hold what we discussed. You went out and you talk what we discussed. So you're a little boy. If you was a real man, you would have keep your mouth, you would have hold it.
That's how you interpret it.
Yes, that's my
I see it. I see it in a different way, but you know.
That's my interpretation. It's not like he's belittling to say, "Oh, he's a child." No.
Well, I interpret it a different way. But you're telling me your impression. No problem.
But this morning, I just want to appeal to the rest of Jamaica, not be perturbed by the numbers, even with yesterday's polls, where it said the country is going in the wrong direction, how much percentage? Because for 3 consecutive years, we have 3 consecutive years of reduction in the murder rate, right? The 2 most significant one was 8% in 2023, and we have 19% in 2024, which is one of the major problems that most Jamaicans are having. So with that, I think the country is progressing well. And with the 3.5% in the unemployment rate, which is one of the lowest since independence.
Not one of the lowest since independence.
It's the lowest,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So with all of those indicators, I think the numbers are there to show.
Yeah.
I think the country is on the right path.
All right.
So not be perturbed by the numbers.
I have to leave you. Thank you this morning. Thank you this morning. Thank you this morning. Break time.
Apply for your NHD refunds at nhd.gov.jm or via the NHD app. Do not click on any links offering to help you. The time by the NHD is
8:27.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy. It's all good inside is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 21 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Jamaica, let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic. Well then, let's propel we nation moving forward in a new direction. True independence, that's the projection. No more dependency, it's the best plan. Yes, we know what's best for us, cause we want we country prosperous. So make we just pull together as the general public while on the road to republic. Jamaica, let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic.
A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
We on the road to republic.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Welcome to today's episode of Data Protection Matters, powered by Design Privacy, where we believe privacy is not just a legal requirement, it is a fundamental right. Our mission is to make compliance accessible, affordable, and automated, helping organizations build trust and embed data privacy into every interaction. I am Chuko Emeka Cameron, and today we're discussing, as we have been over the past 4 weeks, the Data Protection Impact Assessment. Today we'll be looking at the strategic benefits of conducting a Data Protection Impact Assessment. At Design Privacy, we don't just talk about compliance, we design it into everything we do. As such, you would have seen over the past few weeks, we have explored topics that simplify data protection. For example, we spoke about how to prepare a comprehensive data protection impact assessment report, and we spoke to a step-by-step guide to crafting DPIAs that ensure compliance while enhancing operational efficiency. Then, in another episode, we spoke about mapping your data processing activities. We broke down how data flows within your organization to streamline compliance. In another episode, we spoke about assessing risks to data subjects, where we looked at practical strategies to mitigate risks and protect personal data. After that, if you would recall, we walked you through understanding and assessing necessity and proportionality in data processing. This is where organizations are required to ensure that they only process the data they need, minimizing risks and maximizing compliance. We have seen, and it remains to be so, that DPIAs, once one understands what it is, and once one attempts to complete one, we have found and continue to find that DPIAs are often seen as an administrative burden by both the Data Protection Office, the privacy managers, and the organization. What we have been trying to do over the past couple weeks is show you where it could be a strategic advantage, and this is what we're going to drill down into today, where it can help you to build trust, ensure compliance, and strengthen resilience. If you have ever questioned the value of DPIAs, this episode is for you. Let's dive into it. From our experience, we have realized that many organizations struggle with DPIAs because of, one, the perceived complexity. And okay, it's not necessarily perceived. To do a manual DPIA is complex. DPIAs can seem overly technical and time-consuming. At times, there may appear to be an unclear value. Some entities struggle to see how DPIAs contribute to their overall goals. Worse yet, some entities take a reactive approach in that DPIAs are often treated as a last-minute compliance task, and this is where we're speaking about the organizational data controller that is in putting themselves in a position to what should have been the March 31 deadline, and they would have started trying to do their DPIAs. Some of these challenges may sound familiar to some of the persons listening, especially those persons who have attempted to do a data protection impact assessment. At Design Privacy, we actually see DPIAs as a competitive advantage, not just a compliance checkbox. Let's explore how they can work for you. When done right, DPIAs offer strategic benefits that can align with your brand ethos, but it definitely aligns with ours. Protecting data means actually protecting people. Proactively mitigating privacy risks build confidence with customers, employees, and partners. Reduced compliance, it also reduces compliance risks, in that it puts you in a position to avoid fines and reputational damage by identifying gaps in your data processing early. Improved data governance is one of those benefits that we see flowing from a properly done DPIA, as DPIAs help map data flows and optimize data management. A well-done DPIA strengthens resilience. Very often we talk about, or the buzzword in business now is resilience, especially in where we facing increased threats of earthquake and the more impactful hurricanes that we're having. A well-done DPIA can prevent costly breaches by proactively identifying risks. Let's see how DPIAs create real-world impact. So here's a real-world example of how a DPIA can make a difference. There has been an increasing call, the last one being made by the gleaner of the editor, acting as sitting judge of the Supreme Court, and the then acting director of public prosecutions, where they expressed an interest or calling for the adoption of a national victim and information notification system to enhance Jamaica's justice system. The initiative aims to improve victim care and judicial transparency, but significant data concerns, in my mind, remain unaddressed. To start with, I have not seen where the Office of the DPP is even registered as a data controller with the Office of the Information Commissioner. We must appreciate that the National Victim Notification System would process high volumes of sensitive data, including victim contact information, and offender records. Without robust safeguards, the system could lead to confidentiality breaches, unauthorized access, and exposure to real harm to victims. Implementing a robust DPIA process, which aligns with our privacy-first approach. That means conducting a full DPIA to evaluate privacy risks and mitigation strategies, establishing clear protocols for secure data processing, storage, and deletion, ensuring compliance with Jamaica's Data Protection Act. Result: a well-structured DPIA will provide transparency, builds public trust, and ensures NVINS achieves its intended goals without unintended privacy risks, of which in more recent time we have seen too many instances of unintended privacy harm being done to Jamaican citizens. At Design Privacy, this is what we do: simplify compliance and protect people. To maximize benefits of DPIAs, there are 3 simple steps to follow. A simple 3-step framework. Integrate DPIAs early. Conduct DPIAs at the planning stage of new projects. Align data protection with business goals. Engage stakeholders. Involve IT, legal, and business team for holistic risk assessment. Ensure cross-functional collaboration to catch blind spots early. Then regularly review your DPIAs and update them to reflect changes in processing activities. Maintain ongoing compliance and relevance. By following this approach, you can transform DPIAs from a regulatory burden into a business enabler. Exactly what Design Privacy stands for. So, before we wrap, we see where we want to be proactive in assessing the risk, especially as the DPP is now being called to implement this victim notice management system. If it is you are faced with the challenge of completing a DPIA, we have had a series of webinars that have proven to be very successful. We are having another one come the 27th of February at 3 p.m. If you're interested in attending, join us at go to designprivacy.io. That's designprivacy.io and register for upcoming webinar where we will present to you a tool that simplifies your DPIA process and gives the board transparency and an actionable report that they can act on. See you on Thursday where we will quickly review what we covered today.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:39.
Skillset Talent Solutions offers marketing, accounting, business registration, logo creation, tax filing, background checks, and recruiting services. Call them at 876-559-3212. The temperature by Skillset Talent Solutions is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay and 21 in Mandeville.
Yo, my boss. Yo, my general. Yo, my king. The new BK Mega Stacker. Come for run everything. Choose your style. Double, triple, or quad stack. Juicy grilled beef. Plus crispy bacon, some stackerific sauce, and layers of melted cheese. So if you think you can angle it, stackify yourself today. Order the BK Mega Stacker and have it your way. The new BK Mega Stacker. Built for satisfaction. Limited time. Only at Burger King. Start your fitness journey today and make 2025 your healthiest yet with Express Fitness. State-of-the-art equipment, expert trainers, and encouraging community are here to support you every step of the way. Join now and take the first step towards a stronger, happier you. Express Fitness, starting at only $9,500 per month with 11 locations island-wide. Your gym for all your needs. Visit www.expressfitnessja.com to sign up today.
A Healthier You is brought to you by Express Fitness.
Your goal or mission. Horton's Pharmacy, a family tradition of dispensing and caring for 100 years.
And Pharma Cold and Flu, distributed by Massey Distribution.
All right. Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Each year, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica celebrates February as Heart Month as part of its mandate to promote heart health by providing information on maintaining a healthy lifestyle. All right, this year the month is being observed under the theme Love Your Heart, Eat Smart. Now, according to the US-based Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, heart disease is the second leading cause of death, and about 1 in 5 heart attacks are silent. For more on how the Heart Foundation of Jamaica is observing Heart Month, we're joined by its Executive Director, Deborah Chen. Good morning, Deborah.
Good morning, George. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
You are most welcome. All right, so February is 18 days old, Deborah. What have your team done so far this month to mark Heart Month?
Our general objective during Heart Month is information, education, information about heart health, information for the risk factors, what can be done to try and prevent. You know, in Jamaica, we cannot afford the cure at the other end. So we're trying to put the cardiologists out of work if that were possible.
Yes.
And it is the leading cause of death in Jamaica. So we use them on programs such as yours is so helpful to us to get the message out. What are the risk factors and what can be done? And you notice the theme, you read it out, love your heart, eat smart, healthy eating for a healthy heart, because what we put into our bodies is causing a lot of the problems in relation to developing heart disease, because we are putting, I use the analogy of a car, we're putting bad gas, we're putting bad food into our bodies, and we're expecting it to work as it should, when the nutrients that we're giving it are not the right ones to help us to live healthy, long lives. We must pass away one day, but we want to be as healthy as we can until that point.
Yes. I heard something the other day, to the extent, Deborah, that I was wondering if I was hearing right. It was a study that was being quoted to say that the Americas, the region that we are living in, the daily intake of salt is like 2 times, well, not 2 times, well over the recommended limit. And I was shocked.
No, you are right. Professor Trevor Ferguson at University of the West Indies and his team, they have a study, and it is shocking. That is only one ingredient. What about the sugar too? It is really, really shocking. I mean, and the figures, George, are going in the wrong direction. So the University of the West Indies have done something called the Jamaica Health and Lifestyle Survey, and they've done it 3 times. One in 2001, 2008, 2017. And every single risk factor is trending in the wrong direction. So, for example, high blood pressure was 20.9 in 2001. It's now 33.8. Diabetes was 7.2, it's 10.2. High cholesterol was 14.6, it's 24.6, and 24.6, and so on and so on and so on, right? So every single risk factor is in the wrong direction. And before you know it, our life expectancy is going to drop. So, when you go around, if you go to cemeteries and graveyards, people used to die at 40 and all those things, at a certain time period because of mainly infectious diseases.
Yes.
But it's going to get to the point where we're going to start seeing people dying younger and younger and younger. And we're not, we as a country and policies need to be put in place to halt this decline.
Yes.
And then to improve it.
Yes, and you're so right, because there was a time when a person dying from heart-related issues is an old people kind of ailment.
And rare.
Yeah, and rare.
Yes, I never forget our previous chairman who passed away, Dr. Naksagi, telling us that when he was in one of the first cohorts at UWI Medical School, and he told us that when in medical school, if a patient came with a heart attack, they all ran to look at the patient. Because it was such a rare thing. It was, oh my God, the patient in Ward 2 and bed 3, and everybody would go over to look at this novelty. And nowadays, it is so commonplace, and that is in one person's lifetime.
Yes.
That we have gotten to this place. So we need to say, how did we get to this place? What are we going to do about it? And how are we going to reverse this trend?
Yes, because here's the thing again now. Here's the thing again. When you look at the food, now, I know that as children, certainly when I was a child, I used to tell my granny that I don't understand how everything was good for you tastes bad. Yeah? These days, it's much different because the things that are healthy, the things are better tasting. Why is it, Deborah, that as I'm playing on your theme, love your heart, eat smart. Why is it that we are not eating better and eating smarter when it's not as expensive as back in the days, and it's not as if the things taste bad like they did back in the day?
Well, it has to do with, there's something called the commercial determinants of health in our public health world, right? And you will notice, for example, that there's food scientists who go out there and develop foods in inverted commas that are something that you can't resist then. The flavor of it. Certain amount of sugar, certain amount of salt. The pervasive marketing of these ultra-processed foods. The convenience of them when you're busy just to pick up something without having the time or what it takes to really think through, is this the best thing for my family? So it is the development of foods that are pre-packaged, and they come with a lot of salt and sugar, and what would class as empty calories. So you're eating something, and you may feel full, but what nutrients is that for the body? Some of them absolutely nothing.
Yes.
And then you feel full, but you haven't got the nutrients, and then what you find is you put on weight. So the overweight went from 45.7 in 2001. We're now at 53.8. The obesity is from 19.7 to 28.6. So we're eating calorie-dense foods that are not actually giving us the nutrients, the good gas then, to run our bodies for the day. And of course, the money that comes from these marketing campaigns, these tend to be the companies with the most money in a society, right? So they can fund things, they can put themselves out there. People are taken in by the gritty advertising and the convenience of it, right? To the detriment of the public, of the health of the public. That doesn't mean everything that's packaged is unhealthy. Absolutely not.
Yes.
But this is why we were advocating or are advocating for front of pack labels, so that persons could make an informed choice whether or not they buy a product. They can buy it if they want,
Yes.
But let it not be said that they were told that this product was high in fat or high in salt or high in sugar accordingly.
Yes. Why I've always wanted to know, what is the resistance and from where is it strongest to the front of package labeling requirement?
Industry, because, you see, I mean, and this is a global thing, no, it's not specific to Jamaica. But you can imagine now that there's some guidelines over which you'd get a label that says, the ones that the research in Jamaica showed, a Pan American Ministry of Health UTEC study showed that a black octagon with the white words in it saying high in salt or high in fat was what the public found to be most understandable and effective. But of course, people who sell certain products don't want to see any label on their things saying high in salt, high in fat, salt, sugar, whatever. In Mexico, if you go to Mexico, in any corner store, every single thing in there has not everything has a label, but everything that requires a label has it. And sometimes this is 3 octagons, sometimes none. And but it's not that people won't buy it, But if you're hypertensive and you need to have a low salt diet, you may decide.
Yes.
You may say, I really like this particular product, so let me have that, but I'll not have it later. I won't have it tomorrow. You know what I mean? So
yes.
We're not saying that you can't have those things. That is a choice. But you will have an informed choice.
Yes.
What is happening now is we find patients here when you speak to them that they said, no, man, I'm eating healthily. But when you drill down, the nutritionist drill down and find out what they think is healthy, it's not actually healthy. So they don't have the information with which to make informed choices.
What a thing. Time is run out, or has run out on us, Deborah. What else you have for the month?
Right. So we just want to encourage during this month everybody to come and get screened.
Yes.
Just get screened. Just come to the Heart Foundation. Your doctor say, I want to be screened. So at least you know. And we do have a medical symposium coming up next week, Wednesday on Zoom, where our medical professionals will be talking about heart health in an era of complementary medicine. So if they check our Instagram page, Facebook, or website, and this is for mainly the health professionals, but of course, if anybody is interested, they're welcome to join as well.
Excellent. And your social media handles, just Google Heart Foundation of Jamaica, and they will come up.
Exactly. It's on all the social media platforms.
Excellent. Thank you for your time this morning, Deborah. Really a pleasure.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
All right.
Bye-bye.
That's the Executive Director of the Heart Foundation of Jamaica. February Heart Month, you can go down to the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and ask for a screening to know exactly where you stand, where your heart health is concerned.
A Healthier You was brought to you by Express Fitness. Your goal or mission. Horton's Pharmacy, a family tradition of dispensing and caring for 100 years.
And Pharma Cold and Flu, distributed by Massey Distribution.
Jamaica's Spark program is investing $45 billion to improve roads, water, and telecom. Better infrastructure for a better future. The time by Spark is
8:51.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
Stay awake just to hear you breathing. Watch you smile while you are sleeping, while you're far away and dreaming. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I could stay lost in this moment forever. Every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure. Don't wanna close my eyes, I don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, baby, and I don't wanna miss a thing. 'Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream would never do. I'd still miss you, baby.
That time of the morning when we tell some very special people happy birthday. Over on Facebook, happy birthday greetings to Tanasha Baker, Shahida Nelson, Tony Barrett. Happy birthday as well to Jamila Miller, Keisha Pinedo Downer. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you, Keisha.
Keisha was our nail tech and did our facials back in the day. Well, did mine. Shay's Day Spa. It's at this complex on Annette Crescent, across from Megamart, Waterloo. So Keisha Pinedo Downer. Good morning, Keisha. Good morning.
Hey, to you, Keisha. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for your wonderful day. Happy birthday as well to Tanya L. Smith, Faith Cunningham. Happy birthday. Happy birthday as well to Nadia Clark, Realist Chick Bennett. Okay, happy birthday to you. Wishing for you a great day as well. Who else is celebrating a birthday today? This one is an anniversary. Happy anniversary, 13 years of marriage to Mr. and Mrs. Wedderburn. Happy anniversary to the Wedderburns, wishing for them a wonderful one as well. Who done it here on the YouTube chat is sending happy birthday greetings to Sister Yannick Binns Blake. Happy birthday to you, Yannick Binns Blake. Hope you have a great day. Christopher Henry sending happy birthday greetings. This one says to my big brother Michael Martel, celebrating your birthday today, Michael, and also to his wife. Oh, her birthday's tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow again, Christopher, you jump in the chat so that we can wish her a happy birthday. But for today, happy birthday to you, Michael Martel. Lorna Pinnock sending happy birthday greetings to her friend Oswald Warner. Enjoy your day, my dear, Lorna says to Oswald. Happy birthday to you, Oswald. Merlene Fidd sending happy 30th birthday to Anique A. Locke in Maryland. Happy birthday to you, Anique. Scrolling on down, who else is celebrating a birthday today? If you posted your birthdays earlier, please drop them back in the chat so I can wish your peeps a special one. But those are all the birthdays I'm seeing right now. So if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well.
I can imagine if Jah did bless me with that tune. Yeah? Jeez, I'm pissed. I go up on the stage at stadium, and the place dark. I'm just walk out. No, the limelight, you know. I think a short man just walk out, and the rhythm stop. I'm just grab the mic and just come so. Go down on my knees. I come so I wheel up my hands so. Don't wanna close my eyes. And the stadium goes so.
And then at a certain point, would you serenade somebody? Like, if somebody come up on the stage and you want, no?
No. We couldn't, no. Who would I serenade? I'm just saying. There are many ladies at the front door. That stampede business that's done. Come on, man. Ciao.
No, man. The guys, the security.
Yeah, I'm going to send up a lady?
Yeah,
all right. Yeah.
Man, a fan to come up and
so you don't want her in a chair sitting, right? Or she's standing?
No, chair is ideal.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
and then just kneel and hold up on a belt out the tune?
Yes.
All right, yeah, that could work. Yeah. All right. Anything you say. Jeez. And then when she gone off of the stage, you know what I do? They go rooting from one side of the stage and then next rooting back. And that's why I'm singing, you know?
Yeah, do too much.
No, but the people pay them money in the time. They think I like the money if you come watch me on stage. And then we just wheel me and so.
Giving them a whole performance.
Tana, a one tune me singing.
Oh yeah.
One tune, just a performance. Yeah, man.
That one moment. You're gonna make it memorable.
Yes. One tune for 10,000 US. Per ticket. Per ticket, Tana. Yeah, man.
Okay, I start.
It's a whole movie.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I don't wanna. No, Tana. We're not going mad on that tune, man. Yeah, man, a big tune.
I can imagine you would. Michelle Simpson sending happy birthday greetings to her mom, Bernice Thompson, in St. Elizabeth. Bethany in St. Elizabeth celebrating her 79th birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Miss Bernice. And it's coming from your 7 children. And they are saying to you, Mama, you are the cream of our heart. So happy birthday to you.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
Now that she's back in the atmosphere with drops of Jupiter in her head.
So you're adding that one as well, or still
no,
one
man.
song?
So all right, here we know. I'm gonna have that group here. I do that tune. First, I have some other little things, but the main event is a 1 hour performance of the Steve of the
one song.
Yeah, man, of the Aerosmith tune. Yeah, man. Trust me, man. 1 hour.
Okay, George.
About 4 costume change.
Come on.
Money's worth.
Yeah. As we wrap this show, Paul Smith is sending happy birthday greetings to his wife, Sophia. Hey to you, Sophia. It's your birthday. Your husband is sending you happy birthday greetings. Wishing for you a great day. Bragg Robinson sending belated happy birthday to daughter Alana Robinson from dad, Carlisle Robinson. Happy belated birthday greetings to you. Hope you had a good one, Alana. Okay, that's it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. NTM. Thanks so much to our technical operator, the musical maestro Jermaine King, our super producer Michelle McCrae Smith, and our super editor Kimon Thompson. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tana.
And I'm George.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.